They have to try to slow him down. They're not going to control him. They're not going to contain him. So you have to be able to put yourself in a position tonight where you don't give up big plays. Explosive plays will be the difference in the game.
And, of course, one of their big players is Bose, the linebacker. He is an outstanding player, two-time all-conference. They have to rely on him. He's got to play big tonight.
He does have to play big. He has to be the leader of the defense. He's got to be sure tackling will be the difference tonight.
Well, Marshall looking for their 9th straight home win tonight. They take on the Rams of Rhode Island. We'll have the starting lineup and opening kick after the break. Welcome back to Huntington, West Virginia. Last week, Marshall beat Miami of Ohio 42-27. First road opening win since 1999 versus Clemson. Tonight, they look to go 2-0 on the season. Here's the weather so far. As we have it, 72 degrees. It is humid. Very light wind, partly cloudy. But the clouds are beginning to build again, and we may see rain again tonight. But the field is brand new. Part of a whole new renovation here around the Marshall campus. Brand new field, drains extremely well, so that should not be a problem tonight. Marshall won the toss, and they have deferred, so Rhode Island with their new offense, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback, they get the football first. And Keith, I think if you're Marshall, you want to be on defense first. Corey Vedvik, the redshirt freshman out of Norway, with a big leg, kicking it off. Lyle McCombs will take it at the goal line. And he takes a hit as he gets up over the 17-yard line. 19 yards on the return officially. And here comes that Rhode Island offense, and they struggled last year. They averaged only about 13 points a game, and there is a good look at their starting quarterback, Matt Lowry, the redshirt freshman out of Foxborough, Massachusetts, was recruited and signed by Boston College, but he's transferred. But they say he is a very talented player. First and 10 from the 17, and we have a penalty flag. You know, we were talking to the coaching staff, obviously, of Rhode Island. And Jim Fleming. And Jim Fleming was telling us, you know, they don't know what it's going to be like. And there's a good look at Coach Fleming. Came from University of Central Florida, where he was the defensive coordinator. He said, we don't know what's going to be like once the lights come out with these guys.
And those
nerves there.
First game jitters right off the bat. Illegal motion in the backfield.
So it's first and 15 for Mac Lowry and company. Easy pass, gets up to about the 12-yard line. Pass is caught by Robbie Jackson, a very talented receiver out of Natick, Massachusetts. Earl Roberts on the stop. Safe pass, though, to begin a game.
Yeah, you just get Lowry just a little bit of freedom right there, right off the bat, just to let him get comfortable. You would like to see him to get into a rhythm. Haven't seen a tight end so far in the ballgame. 5 guys up front. They spread you out. They've had a couple of guys in the backfield, though.
And second down and 15. This time the handoff, and the defense of Marshall just stacks them up. This was such a much improved defense. Loss of 2 on the play. Last year rushing, teams only rushed 160 yards a game against them.
Just great penetration right there, and that's what the defensive front. They're an aggressive defensive front, those 4 guys up front. They'll play outside the 3 gap, try to take gap control, and then let the linebackers scrape to the football.
And it is third down. Miami of Ohio just 26% on third down. Last year, teams 34%. against this Marshall defense. Let's see if they bring the troops on this. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers and a staff. They only bring 4. Lowry keeps it, looks, pumps, throws. That'll be incomplete. 4th down. Marshall will get the football after the punt.
Nice job by Lyle McCombs, though, to give him an opportunity to get outside. He does a great job of being that mentor in the backfield and picking up blitz packages. He gave him an opportunity, but great coverage in the secondary.
Donquell Green set to return the kick. Anthony DePaula will kick it away, standing about 2 yards deep in his own end zone. Good snap. Here comes pressure. Someone may have gotten a piece of that. Takes a Rhode Island bounce. It'll go into Marshall territory. Finally down at about the 47-yard line. 46 yards on the kick.
Pressure. How about that right off the bat? The defense does exactly what they wanted to do. That's why you kick off. You were asking me why you kick off. We had a little bit of technical problem. Couldn't hear me, but the reason that you take the toss and say, all right, we'll play defense first, is get your defense out of the field, set the tone for the football game defensively.
And there is Rakeem Cato, the 6'1 senior out of Miami, Florida, the preseason player of the year. And I tell you, over the last 3 years, we saw so much improvement. Here was a guy that his freshman year was thrown into the job as starting quarterback. The coaching staff didn't want to do it, but they had no choice. And boy, has he flourished. Hand off straight ahead to Devin Johnson. He bounces off a couple of tackles, a pick up 3 on the play. Blake Jones on the stop.
You're going to say that name a lot tonight, Ron. Devin Johnson, he is a strong, powerful runner. Really surprising watching him on tape how quick he is, too, to go with that. He's a guy that can run once he gets some space.
He took a look at the offensive line. We'll also be seeing A.J. Addison tonight. Cato going deep down the near sideline, caught inside the 20-yard line to Devontae Allen. Finally healthy Devontae Allen.
Well, I tell you what, this is a great move. They want to stretch the field on the outside. That's exactly what they did. Little out and up right here. Great pitch and catch. This is a perfectly thrown ball. Only one person had an opportunity to catch it, and that was Allen on the outside. Gets it down in the red zone.
Kelly had 9 receptions last week. Touchdown Marshall, straight ahead running by Devin Johnson. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year for the former tight end.
I tell you what, that is exactly how you play football. Run up the middle, go deep, stretch the field, and come right back up the middle. Johnson into the end zone. Didn't take long. 3-play drive.
All set up with Rakeem Cato hitting Devontae Allen on the 41-yard pass play. Justin Haig for the extra point, one of the best in Conference USA. And he will split the uprights. He's 7 for 7 on the year.
Just great job right up front, split the gap, got a good kick out block on the trap into the end zone.
Behold, we are in the presence of champions. Fantasy sports legends who have earned hundreds of thousands of dollars playing online. Meet Arlie Gonzalez. Average guy, superior sports knowledge. Picked a team in minutes and won enough to throw the party of a lifetime. In outer space. Former accountant Derek Bradley. DraftKings One Day Fantasy Football took him from a guy with holes in his underpants to a guy with bikini models in them.
How do we turn our love of fantasy sports into reality cash?
DraftKings.com. They have one-day games, so you're not locked in. It's like a new season every time you play. And best of all, you could win a shipload of money.
Get to DraftKings.com for giant one-day cash prizes and massive weekly contests. Use promo code CAMP to play and get free entry in the $5 million Week 1 Kickoff Bash September 7th. Get to DraftKings.com now.
Last week, Devin Johnson rushed for 151 yards, averaged almost 8 yards a carry, and had a couple of touchdowns. He gets his first tonight, straight up the middle.
Well, he gets good kick-out block right there to seal to the inside. And I love when you see running backs, Ron, they can plant that foot. He planted that left foot when he saw the hole and turned it north and south, took it right into the end zone. Tell you what, if you can stretch the field, that's one of the things this coaching staff's talked about during the offseason. We've got a good running back. We've got a Heisman Trophy type quarterback, but they still need to stretch the field on the outside. The big play down the field set up that touchdown.
Well, it took him less than 45 seconds for Doc Holliday. Has to like that drive. Strike fast, strike quickly. Now the ball will go back to Rhode Island. McCombs and Holmes back. Rhode Island dating back to last year. They have not scored in over 142 minutes now. This time they'll take a knee. Shut out the last couple of games. Opponents have now scored 121 unanswered points against Rhode Island. How do you get rid of that? Because how much of that has to be mental, Keith, do you think?
Well, at some point it does start to build on you mentally. Then you start putting pressure on yourself in practice, and then you get out into a game. You start trying to do too much. Everybody's responsible. It's about taking care of my job as one of the 11 out there.
This time Lowry looks like a little broken play, and he's going to slide as he gets to the 28-yard line. Picks up a few yards on the play.
You can see the defense there starting for Marshall. The secondary would be the point. They've got an injury in that secondary, so it'll be important to see how it stands up as the night goes on.
Now they had to move Rodney Allen over to a cornerback spot, Marshall did. He was a wide receiver last week because they're so thin. Lowry looks to put it up again. Into the flat, caught short of the first down. That's called getting thumped. Nice job by Taekwon Lang on the coverage.
Well, I tell you what, Fairland did a nice job. A 6'1", 182-pound wide receiver from Cranston West, Rhode Island High School. That's knowing you're going to get popped when you get out there.
Well, TQ laid the wood to him, but it was enough for a first down, says the officials. So Rhode Island with their first down of the evening. From the 35-yard line, they'll try the run game. McCombs, not much going on. Maybe picks up 3 on the play. Jarquez Samuel on the stop, the big junior out of Valdosta, Georgia.
McCombs is one of those guys, Ron, that you look at. He's always moving his feet. He's quick. He gets behind those big bodies, and he's tough to see. And then he finds that little gap, does a real nice job of plugging in there when he finds a hole. He's a tough runner. You would look at him and think he can't run between the tackles, but that's where he gets a lot of yards.
Now McCombs is a transfer from UConn. He rushed for 2,681 yards, including over 1,100 in one season while with the Huskies. And this time straight up the middle, shows the speed. Gets the first down up to the 49-yard line, a pickup of 11.
Excellent block here on the trap block. Traps to the outside. Running back does a nice job trapping to the outside right there. Farrell just comes in, gets his block. When he seals that block, gets the first down.
And all of a sudden, Rhode Island putting together a little drive.
But they would like to get something going, as you talked about. They haven't found pay dirt in an awful long time.
Ball at the 48-yard line. Lowry will operate again from the shotgun. Pretty much a no-huddle offense. Quick snap, quick look. Here comes the pressure. Lowry is going to be dragged down. Does pick up a yard on the play. But good closing speed by that defense led by Evan McKelvey.
He's trying to get this ball to White, the slot receiver to the outside. Just excellent coverage that time. But Letman, the safety, came down on top of the inside slot receiver, covered him, had to stick it down, couldn't get much out of it.
Now 2nd down and 8. And a ball has come out onto the field.
Well, practice punting. Sometimes you miss the cage. That's exactly what they were doing. The punter was practicing for Rhode Island.
If you miss the cage, you shouldn't be out there punting.
You shaped that one, I would think.
Really.
Looks like my driver.
Yeah. 2nd down and 8. Lowry keeps. Nobody bought the fake, and he's going to lose a couple on the play. Again, nice defense. This time, Jermaine Holmes. They called him freak in high school. Big number 46, the middle linebacker for Marshall. But he's lost some weight, so they're trying to think of a new nickname for him.
Well, he does carry. He does a nice job right there. They had both plays taken. If he gives it to McCombs right there was a defensive end right on him.
Right.
That's exactly how you play the zone read.
Well, it's third down. Rhode Island 0 for 1 on third down tonight. And they need every bit of that 10 yards.
Triangle formation here to the wide side.
Lowry, he'll keep it, tucks it, tripped up from behind, and he's going to pick up about 3 on the play, well short of the first down. Another outstanding defensive effort by Marshall, led by Ricardo Williams, coming from that defensive tackle spot. You talked about how they'll rotate 9-10 guys defensive tackle. That is huge for this Marshall defense.
I tell you what, they don't get tired. Doc Holliday told us last night, he said, look, we want our defensive front to go as hard as they can. If that's 3 plays, they need a breather, we'll get somebody else in there. We're going to use 10 guys tonight. You can tell, especially when it gets to the second half, that will start to show up.
Cal DePaula is going to kick it away again, and Donquell Green standing back at his 10-yard line. Drifting to his left, fair catch called, and he gets it at the 11-yard line.
Well, if nothing else out of the deal right there, they did get field position change if you're Rhode Island. You didn't score, but at least you backed up Marshall and make them know 90 yards for the touchdown.
Sweet.
Look at that. Brett Favre. Justin Verlander. Mean Joe Green. Teresa Weatherspoon. T.Y. Hilton. Randy Moss. All players from Conference USA schools. The question is, who is the next Favre? Who's the next Verlander? The next Moss? We're about to find out.
Welcome back to Huntington, West Virginia on the campus of Marshall University. Along with Keith Moreland, I'm Ron Philbin. Good to have you with us on this rainy and wet night, but it is warm. Thundering Herd took less than 45 seconds to score on their opening possession. They lead at 7-0. Let's talk about that Marshall offense, Keith, because I think it's important. Foundationally, for the offense, it starts with the inside run, doesn't it?
It starts with the front four guys, 5 guys, the center especially. He helps designate what blocking assignments everybody has. They're going to run the ball in the middle of the field to start with and then expand from there.
And we'll see it now. 4 wide receiver set. Cato goes up top again, trying this play again. Connects again. What a touch by Rakeem Cato, hitting Devontae Allen, good for 30 yards. Last week, he did not throw the ball well. He's throwing it well tonight.
Well, I tell you what, even in the moisture that's out here, this is another perfectly thrown ball. That's an old bucket pass that you try to lay it up over the top of the defender, just get it where your receiver can catch it. They've stretched the field in both possessions so far.
So Allen with a 41-yard reception and a 30-yard reception so far. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line, straight up the middle, running again. Bouncing off tackles. Remy Watson, good for 28 yards. That's his longest carry of the year.
Well, I tell you what, he does a great job. Watch these yards after contact. 1, 2. Then he gets into the secondary. 3, 4, 5 guys have to get him to bring him down. That's moving your feet, doing the job, running in the middle of the field.
And we just talked about that. That's where foundationally this offense starts. Sets up everything else. Johnson now back in the backfield with Cato. Good enough for a couple of yards. Check that. It's Remy Watson again. Picks up 2 on the play.
Sometimes, sorry, Ron, sometimes defensively here, this becomes now all of a sudden a big possession.
Right.
You've got to find a way here. Again, can't give up explosive plays. They've already given up 2 big explosive plays.
Angelo Jean Lewis wide to the right side. 2nd down and 8. Devontae Allen on the near side. Cato looks to put it up, has plenty of time, rifling the pass, overthrowing his intended receiver. That was Tommy Schuler, his favorite target. That's his first incompletion so far tonight.
Yeah, rain's starting to come down now again, and you can tell that ball sort of came out of his hands. Didn't have a good grip on it. You can see the crowd starting to cover up, and the moisture will be a problem again as this ball game continues.
First 3rd down that Marshall has faced tonight. And they need just a little less than 8 yards. Rhode Island only showing a 3-man rush. Cato, a lot of freedom at the line of scrimmage, changing the play. 3 to snap. Here comes the rush. Cato, plenty of time, looking down the middle, has a man, incomplete. Intended for Eric Frohnapple, wide open through his hands.
Boy, I tell you what, this is another perfectly thrown ball. Eric will tell you, I got to catch this ball 8 out of 10 times. Looking back, it is got some moisture coming down just right through his fingertips, just at the end line.
And I think Doc Holliday is going to roll the dice and go for it here on 4th down and 8. Last week they were 1 for 3 on 4th down. Very successful last season, just a shade under 60%. So 4th down, they need 8. Cato again, plenty of time, has a receiver near side, tipped at the last second, incomplete. Abdul Ibrahim getting his hand on the ball.
That's great ball skills right there.
That is.
Turned his eye, got his eyes on the football. He was beat to the outside, but one of the things you've got to do is, hey, I'm beat anyway. I got to find the football. Reaches up, slaps it away.
6:50 left to play in the opening quarter. Marshall leading Rhode Island by 7. We'll be back to Huntington in a moment.
I'm big into fantasy football. That's why I got DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket. They've got a new channel that's fully dedicated to nothing but fantasy. It takes you player to player live, so you can see everything as it happens and watch your fantasy players rack up the points, which kind of gets me excited.
Become the world's most powerful fan. Get the new Fantasy Zone channel with NFL Sunday Ticket, only on DirecTV.
Look at that. Brett Favre. Justin Verlander. Alfred Morris. John Bush. Amber Holt. Randy Moss. All players from Conference USA schools. The question is, who is the next Favre? Who's the next Verlander? The next Moss? We're about to find out.
Nearly 60 million Americans depend on free local TV. News, sports, weather emergencies, especially diverse communities, rural towns, the elderly. They save thousands every year on cable and satellite bills. Pay TV providers don't like that. They're pushing Washington to change the rules and cripple free TV. Call Congress. Tell them to stand up for 60 million Americans and stand up to pay TV providers. Don't mess with free TV.
You're watching the American Sports Network. Next week on ASN. After an offseason filled with transformation, the storied seats of Cal Stadium are once again ready to host fans for New Hampshire football. The gates open for the first time in 2014 next Saturday at 3:30. It's New Hampshire and Lehigh here on ASN. College football on the American Sports Network is brought to you by CokeCareers.com.
And the clouds are beginning to form again here in Huntington, West Virginia. Thundering Herd, though, leading Rhode Island 7-0. Once again, this is Rhode Island's first game of the year in their 116th season of football, dating back to 1895. Mac Lowry going back to work. He's shown us his running skills so far in this game. This time it's Lyle McCombs. He's shown us a little bit of a speed. This time he gets up over the 35 to the 37-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 7 on the play, maybe 8.
Now they showed a lot of 10 formation. That means there's no tight end, 1 back in the backfield, and 4 wideouts. We've seen that formation probably 95% of the time. We'll see it again here on 2nd down.
Good first down play, though. You get ahead of the chains right off the bat. And you can see the total yards for Rhode Island, only 24 so far in this football game. Stack wide receivers to the left side, tried the run. This time losing a yard, it's going to be McCombs. You know, you talk about Rhode Island and Jim Fleming. He is an outstanding football coach. I mean, you think about it, he was part of the UCF team that went to the Tostitos Bowl, was head coach at Sacred Heart, veteran of 27 years coaching. And here he comes into this situation where the team has not won, 12-44 the last 5 years. And one of the first things he told us, how proud he was of the guys that they bought in.
Yep, bought into the system, worked hard in the offseason.
It's 3rd down, and Rhode Island 0 for 2 on 3rd. Lowry standing tall in the pocket, tucks it, got the first down, and a little extra to spare as he gets close to the 45.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know how he held on to this football. He pump fakes.
Yeah.
Again, great coverage. He makes a full swing like he was going to let go of the ball, tucks it underneath, finds the just enough room, and uses his size to get the first down. And, well, that's, again, move the formation forward.
Mm-hmm.
Get things going positive in the right direction.
Fresh set of downs for the Rams. Lowry the pump. This time it was covered up. Good job defensively. He just has to throw it away. You know, you look at Lowry. He's 6'4", 215 out of Foxborough, Massachusetts. People forget, he was recruited and signed by Boston College. This young man has a lot of talent.
Yeah, and he showed right there some experience and some poise right there. They were trying to go for a bubble screen. It's not there. Blown up by a really nice job in the secondary. He just threw it away and said, let's play another down.
Smart play. On 2nd and 10. McCombs looking for the outside, tries to get the corner, doesn't quite get it. Pickup of maybe a yard on the play. Jermaine Holmes, nice job tracking him down. Now you look at Holmes, he's a quiet guy, they say. But boy, his play speaks for itself on the football field.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the other end of his head.
No.
He brings the wood. There's no question about it. Trying to get in the middle of the field, they've really had a tough time finding the inside slot receivers.
3rd down, they need 8. Keep an eye on Robbie Jackson on the near side. He's their best receiver. Lowry steps back, tall in the pocket, goes over the middle, complete to the 45-yard line. That'll be good for a first down. Nice job by Padre White, the junior out of St. Petersburg.
Just a drag. You know, you run a little game, he waits, and let him drag right across behind the linebackers. That play takes some time to develop, Ron. You have to get some good blocking. Good job up front to allow that pattern to develop.
Padre White, one of the many new players on this Rhode Island team. He's a junior college transfer. And another first down for the Rams. Marshall shows blitz, and they stuff it. At the 50-yard line, that'll be a loss of 5. Everybody was coming in on this play.
I think the kitchen sink came with them. They were bringing everybody. Both linebackers inside field. That's 7 guys coming all at once. Marshall has a player down at the end of this, but there's no chance to run the zone read in the backfield quickly. That's a big loss, 5 yards. Not sure who's down at this point, and one player on the ground.
Well, James Rouse led part of the charge. Let's take another look at it.
There's just people coming off the corner, coming from the inside. Boy, that is a collision right there. And McCombs took the brunt of that collision. He's able to get up.
We're just going to have to wait and see. Well, Doc is anxiously looking. Up under his own power is Arnold Blackman. And that's a good sign. They need Blackman, because the coaches were telling us over the last couple of days that the lights come on for him. Do you understand what it takes to get better out of Bel Air, Texas? Hopefully it's just a shoulder stinger. What do you think?
I think it was more about in his hands. He might have been trying to wrap up and got hit in his wrist or his elbow.
2nd down and 15. And we've got motion all over the place. Our referee tonight, Steve Lamantia.
We have not seen Rhode Island change their cadence very often. Lowry's been on first snap, and a lot of times defense will start anticipating that. That time he did change his cadence and got the 5 yards.
Well, that probably was a coaching moment for Doc Holliday, because last week versus Miami of Ohio, Thundering Herd whistled for 9 penalties, 98 yards.
That's just too much.
That's not Doc Holliday football.
That's too much.
So it's 2nd down and about 10. Closing in on 3.5 minutes to play here in quarter number 1. Marshall doing a pretty good job on the run game. McCombs is stuffed. Picks up 1 on the play.
That front 4, I mean, no matter who's in the rotation, have really done a nice job. They have solidified that running game, taking away the zone read. One of the things they want to do. They haven't been able to get Lyle McCombs right there, number 27, out into any space. At this point, they're going to have to chunk the football here.
Well, McCombs is a pretty good receiver, too. Let's see what they do on 3rd down. 2 of 4 so far tonight on 3rd. Marshall jumps offside. This is a free play. And it'll be short of the 1st down, but the penalty will be on Marshall. Picked up 7 on the play.
Nothing drives a defensive coordinator more crazy. And that's discipline. I mean, if you're a defensive player, you got to look in. I got it called on me before, too, so I'm not saying it doesn't happen to everybody, but that's more of a mental breakdown than
number
anything
40
else.
of the defense.
Make sure you watch
penalty.
the football.
Still 3rd down.
You want to get that good first step to get into the backfield, especially in a passing situation if you're a defensive end, but just gives them a great opportunity. Now, this is 4-down territory, in my opinion, now for Rhode Island after the penalty.
Why not? You know, a punt's not going to get you a whole lot. So now it is 3rd down. It's shortened up a little bit. We'll call it 5. Marshall with 5 on the line of scrimmage.
Number 74 of the offense.
They just gave it back.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And I'm sure that drives that man crazy, because your margin of error coming in here is slim at best. You can't, you just were given 5 yards. You can't give it back to him.
Well, it changes your idea. You're going to have to throw it again here on 3rd down. That means you're going to have to get some protection. Marshall has only come a couple of times here in the 1st quarter. This is a good time to come after him right here.
3 of the down linemen with their hands in the dirt. Everybody else standing up. They're packing the box. Lowry, here's the pressure by Rouse. Lowry gets it away. Incomplete. Oh, you had alligator arms and heard footsteps on that play.
He is just flat blown up right here at the end. And it's just out there in the middle of nowhere. He buys time to get to the outside and lays it up. And boy, hard to see the number right there.
Taj Letman
brought the wood, but that is just, you're just hung out to dry with your hands up in the air.
Well, Letman is getting better, and I'll tell you what, I think if you saw him coming at you at full speed, you'd probably want to not catch the ball either.
Well, my arms might have a little bit of shrinkage in them.
Aquel Green back at his 10-yard line, awaiting Anthony DePaula's kick. And another nice boot by DePaula. Hits at the 5, and it just stops dead at the 1. What a great punt by Anthony DePaula. When we come back, Marshall will have the football with 1:36 left to play in the opening quarter.
The decisions you make today will guide your tomorrows. Taking pride in your work, knowing the true meaning of tradition, and understanding value comes in many ways. Being close to home, but not too close. Blazing your trail with the help of others. Knowing what you seek is within your reach. We make decisions every day. We are Marshall University, your best decision ever.
You're watching the American Sports Network, Sinclair Broadcast Group's collegiate sports channel, the new home to Conference USA, the Colonial Athletic Association, Big South Conference, Southern Conference, and the Patriot League. In the coming months, watch your favorite college teams across ASN's network of channels throughout the United States. Touchdown. Tune in each Saturday for ASN's live college football coverage. Over 50 games this season. Witness spectacular touchdowns, crunching hits, and fist-pumping edge-of-your-seat action that'll take your breath away. And later this fall, college basketball comes your way on ASN. Slam dunks, buzzer beaters. He fires it. Oh, he fired it! Monster blocks, threes, and more threes. To the tie. Don't miss a minute of all the court-storming action as teams battle for conference supremacy and invites to the NCAA tournament. The American Sports Network, your new home for live college sports.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
You're watching the American Sports Network.
Along with Keith Moreland, I'm Ron Thulin. Welcome back to Huntington, West Virginia. Conference USA football tonight with Marshall, the Thundering Herd, scoring on their first possession in less than 45 seconds, leading Rhode Island 7-0. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching Fordham at Villanova, where we are in Huntington. And the score of that Villanova game, the final score was 50-6 for those of you who tuned over to this game instead. And now Devin Johnson will join Rakeem Cato, Heisman Trophy candidate Rakeem Cato in the backfield. After the punt stopped on the 1-yard line. Cato wants to get a lot of it, and he does, up to the 20-yard line. Pickup of 19 on the play. Complete to Angelo Gene Lewis.
But just great protection. You got to have a long time. This is a deep stop. He just stops on the outside corner, sails the deep ball, comes back to the football. Again, another perfectly thrown ball for the first down.
Lewis's second catch of the season. Johnson bangs his way up to the 25-yard line. You know, we got to talk about, because Doc Holliday calls Angelo Gene Lewis Geez Louise. I mean, and nobody could figure out how to pronounce his last name. Coaches, you never believe coaches when they say a guy's name.
Sure.
You never do.
Because they got a nickname for him, or they're going to.
Exactly.
That's the name that they're. It sticks when you come on as a freshman.
But we have been assured it is Gene Lewis. Johnson banging around. This time he's going to lose the football. It's on the ground. Got to wait to see what the officials say.
We've had a lot of moisture. We thought we might see some balls come out. It looks like to me Marshall got back on top of it.
I think you're right.
And he bounces to the outside, and just somebody right there gets a helmet right on the football, and it comes out. And it was Johnson who got back right on top of it. That's just great arm strength to reach back and pull that ball back into the breadbasket.
That was Tim Winclaw who lowered the boom on him, and now it's 3rd and long for Marshall. Remy Watson is checked back into the backfield. Cato, here comes the pressure, just lets it fly, throws it up for grabs, incomplete. He just tried to get rid of it, I think.
He did. It was an unusual formation. That was a dime package coming into the game. 6 defensive backs for Rhode Island that time, but they brought the 2 linebackers, so they brought 5, had 6 in coverage.
Well, Miles Holmes did a nice job on the coverage. It was intended for Gene Lewis again. And now Tyler Williams will have to kick it away. Remember, Marshall last week allowed a 54-yard return by Miami of Ohio. Lyle McCombs of Rhode Island back at the 35-yard line. Williams a 64-yard punt last week, and he gets a boomer now. McCombs backs up to the 25-yard line, and he'll take a seat.
Just great coverage by the Gunners on both sides. They did their job coming down the field, and they kept their lanes, Ron. If you come down and you're not equal together or staying in your lanes, a guy can make one guy miss, maybe make both of you miss, but they did a good job of being there together at the same time, nowhere to go. Boy, that is a tremendous kick right there to back up Rhode Island.
And the rain is starting to come down again. And we're supposed to have intermittent showers throughout this football game. They were calling for a lot of severe weather, and the fans are already wrapping up in the clear plastic, but Coach says I'm tough. I don't need it. Boy, it's really coming down now.
I might wear a hat. I don't know about you.
Now we had a personal foul, by the way, on that last play. So they're going to back it up even more. And now the fans are scrambling to try to get out of this because it is a monsoon right now. And before we go any further, kudos to all our camera people who are putting up with us tonight. Of course, the students are all going, this is great. Harold Cooper's checked into the backfield now for Rhode Island. Let's see if everybody keeps it on the ground. They went absolutely nowhere. That's going to be a loss of 5 on the play.
Well, you got to worry about exchanges right now. Turnovers will be a problem. Almost impossible. It is impossible to keep the football dry. The umpire will try to do that, but can't keep it dry right now.
Well, James Rouse on the tackle as the first quarter comes to an end. In a downpour in Huntington, Marshall leads Rhode Island by a touchdown.
These are the faces that look up to you. You, the fans, the people who pack the stands week after week. So, before you walk through the stadium gates or see the first fan from the other team, ask yourself one question. Are you setting a good example for the next generation? Make sportsmanship your best play of the game and make it a great day for CUSA football.
The ushers told that young man that was his seat, and he doesn't care. He's sitting in it, no matter what.
And no matter what. I can't see the field, but I'm going to be there.
Dangerous possession for Rhode Island. They got to hold on to the football. Lowry does a nice job, crosses the 15-yard line.
Boy, that is such an important point you made right there is you're backed up here. The ball's going to be slick, and turnovers are going to happen tonight. No matter what you try to do, you're going to lose the ball because it's slick. Don't want to do it and give a short field. Sudden change would not be good for Rhode Island right now.
11-minute possession for Rhode Island. That's not a big stat when it comes to Marshall because they score so quickly as we saw in their opening drive, but they haven't done anything since then. So this is third down. They need 7. Let's see if Marshall brings everybody. They only rush 3. Lowry steps up in the pocket, lets it fly, looking for a receiver, deflected. Pass is incomplete, was intended for Robbie Jackson. Corey Tyndall on the coverage. Nice job from that quarterback spot.
He did a nice job there. Right at the end of it, you're thinking, well, is this pass interference? You know,
Yeah.
I don't think there was enough there for me to call pass interference on the play. Tried to make an adjustment. Going to have to punt it away. Again, returning these kicks are tough to do when you're looking up into the rain.
And I tell you, Anthony DePaula, though, he's got to be careful. You see him with the towel on there. He keeps trying to wipe it off, but it is coming down so hard as we have a stoppage of play right now. It's coming down so hard. The officials put the ball down, and it gets wet quickly.
Deep snapper as well.
That's Clay Crum is the deep snapper. Donquell Green to return the kick. This time it's a low end over end. Green on the run, loses the football. Still loose, and I think Rhode Island's got it.
Well, I hate to predict what you think's going to happen, but it is so hard in this type of environment to hold on to the football.
Yeah.
So many times I've seen head coaches say, hey, we're not going to field it. Just get away from it.
Now let's see. The official still unpiling everybody. And it is Rhode Island's football. But I think part of it, you have to go back to Green. Because you're on a running start trying to get this ball. You really never get possession of it.
Right at the end right there, tried to pick it up and run with it. One of the things you can't do, Ron, once you lose the football right here, if you're Marshall, you've got to get on it. Tries to reach down and pick it up and run with it, and that cost him because Rhode Island comes up with the turnover.
Tim Winclaw recovered the loose ball. He has done a nice job tonight. Rhode Island now with the ball on their own 48-yard line. 1st and 10 early on here in the second quarter. Slipping and sliding is Lyle McCombs.
This is a brand new surface here at Edwards Stadium. And, you know, a lot of times I've heard coaches talk about it needs a lot of rain on it. It needs to rain and come off of it and get used to it to get some of the slickness out of it because it's a new surface. We could see some guys slip, and we're already seeing that.
Well, James Rouse was in on yet another tackle. The 6th-year player already with his degree out of Harrisonburg, Virginia. They call him Unc, short for uncle because he's old. But he's not the oldest on the team, ironically. Lowry, the straight handoff again. McCombs bangs his way inside the 50 down to about the 48-yard line.
Advantage offensive players in this environment as well because
Absolutely.
of the fact that they know where they're going. Defensive players in this situation don't really know how. Defense is reaction. You react to the football. Offensively, you know where you're going, so it should have an advantage for the offensive team with the football.
Another 3rd down situation for Rhode Island. One thing defensive coordinator Chuck Heater likes about this Marshall defense, their competitiveness. They need it now. Lowry sees some pressure. The quick out, far side, caught well short of the 1st down. Pass is completed to Jackson again.
Yeah, when Jackson gets outside, it's an easy pitch and catch, but the pattern was only a 3-yard pattern. When it's 3rd and 8, it's hard to get a 1st down on that. I think they'll have to punt the football away again here, and that's what they're doing.
Well, Darrell Roberts was on the coverage, the man they nicknamed Swag. There's a good look at Darrell out of Lakeland, Florida. So, you know, you talk to the coaches, you watch him on tape. What a high football IQ for that young man.
Always in the right spot.
Absolutely. DePaula, the left footer, ready to kick it again. And Tommy Schuler this time was back to return the kick after Green fumbled. Well, the kick goes out at the 8-yard line, and that's where Marshall will take over. We are early on here in the second quarter. Thundering Herd lead it.
When I daydream, I don't think about PowerPoint charts. I daydream about football. It's such a beautiful game. It's this massive array of strategy, competitiveness, athleticism. So when you ask what a CEO does, drives performance, knows how to develop other people, and how to set standards. All 3 of those things come back to what I learned when I was playing football. I'm Jeff Immelt. I'm chairman and CEO of GE, and I'm a football player.
The premier research university of North Louisiana.
The epicenter of innovation and collaboration.
The place where students become leaders.
The home of Bulldog pride and passion.
Louisiana Tech University. The Tech.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore. So you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move! Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
7-0 is our score. The Thundering Herd over the Rams of Rhode Island. And earlier today, they dedicated the new Chris Klein Athletic Complex. This is a very impressive indoor field. It's nearly 102,000 square feet. It not only has the football, it's got obviously goalposts that they can lower down. You see the batting cages there to the left, but it also has a full track. Also part of the Vision campaign, part of a new weight room. They added a bunch of equipment where more guys can lift at the same time. All part of what Athletic Director Mike Hamrick has done here at Marshall, and the presentation to Chris Klein. Mike Hamrick on the right. You see Mike D'Antoni, former Laker basketball coach. His brother is now the new head basketball coach here, but thank you, Mr. Klein, and especially the job Mike Hamrick has done here. Outstanding. They're not done yet. They're going to have what they're calling an Area B. It's going to be a sports medicine center, nearly 20,000 square feet. That's next on the agenda.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is impressive.
Very impressive. That facility, though, blew me away. Indoor track and everything. Now Marshall operating in a little bit of a hole. They get some running room up to about the 13-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play.
Well, they like to run from inside out. It would not surprise me to see them start to grind it right now, start to pound the football in the middle of the diamond.
I think when this kind of weather, and the rain has let up a little bit, but it's still raining as Cato keeps and just takes a dive up to about the 17-yard line. That'll be about 2 yards short of the first down. Andrew Bose, who we talked about in the open on the tackle.
You take a football, a team, and you line up and you have 5 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen, and the 3 linebackers and the 2 backs. It makes a diamond shape, and then you want to run in between the tackles right there. They want to pound the football right now.
Marshall 0 for 2 on 3rd down. They need 3 here. Cato hands off, got the first down, into the secondary, and then some. That is called great blocking by that left side of the offensive line. Pickup of 20.
Well, they caught Rhode Island in a stunt. As they stunt to the inside, they run right at the stunt, get a seal block to the outside. And, well, I tell you what, he does a nice job, does Watson that time, just high-stepping through the hole.
And Watson goes off the field. Looks like may have fallen on the football, a little bit winded, but a nice pickup again by Watson. So from the 36-yard line, Devin Johnson back in the backfield. And you're right, they are just going to pound it.
I wouldn't change nothing.
Look at that, though. He gets up to the 41-yard line, pickup of 5 on the play.
Hit in the backfield.
Yes, just pure strength.
245 pounds, and he's quick. You can see he is well put together and tough to bring down. I don't see him changing anything. I think they're going to just grind this out.
Now Watson, 3 rushes for 49 yards. Then you have the thumper and Johnson. Nice little 1-2 punch. On 2nd and 5 from the 41-yard line. Johnson again. Big hit as he gets up to the 45-yard line. That'll be about a yard short of the first down.
we might see another back tonight, too, and Stuart Butler, who
Yeah.
might get into this game.
Oh, they were hoping to work on their depth tonight. They want to get some young players like Ryan Juracek, the fine young tight end, the freshman out of Myrtle Beach. They want to see Rodney Allen in at cornerback. That's another first down up to the 40-yard line. Devin Johnson again picks up 15.
Well, this is just good running right here. Runs through that first tackle, contact right there through the hole. Arm tackle's not going to bring Devin Johnson down. Then he punishes you on the far end of it as he ends the play to get extra yards.
Fake it to Watson. Cato going for pay dirt, looking for Schuler, incomplete.
Cato would like to have this ball back. He had plenty of time. Play fake, gets on the run to the outside. Again, this has had something to do with the ball is going to be a little slick, but he doesn't step into this throw. He tries to throw this ball on the run. He's got to plant his foot and deliver the football. That was a mistake, a mechanical mistake for him right there, and it almost cost him a pick.
Well, Miles Holmes should have had it. Throwing into double coverage is dangerous. Cato on his career 64% completion percentage. Now he faces 2nd and 10. Back to the run game. Ball is loose. Rhode Island has it and picks it up and takes his seat. Third fumble tonight, I believe, for Marshall. Rondell Lane picks up the loose ball.
Well, this just gets popped right at the point of attack. A little trap play right up the middle, and then boom, two guys hit him at one. Ball just pops out. When it does, right back into the Rams' hands. And just like that, turnover. Just really nice cross block right in front, gets into the second level, and then two guys just sandwich him right there, and the ball pops out.
3 fumbles, 2 lost. There's a Marshall player down on the field. We come back, we'll find out who it is and his condition when we return to Huntington.
Conference USA celebrates 20 years. Each Conference USA member has a history of greats.
Southern Miss has Brett Favre.
Louisiana Tech has Terry Bradshaw.
WKU has Bobby Rainey.
FIU has T.Y. Hill.
UAB had Roddy White. Don Maynard is from Utah.
Marshall has Chad Pennington.
Together, we are the next 20 years, the next generation of Conference USA.
Stand watch for who's next.
The injured player was Remy Watson after the fumble, and he was led gingerly, very gingerly off the field, and they laid him down on the sideline. And once we get an injury report, if allowed, we will pass it on to you as quickly as we possibly can. And it's working on kind of the rib area, it looks like. Don't want to speculate, though.
Yeah.
So Rhode Island takes over, and they're hanging tough. This time they try the pitch back to McCombs, and he will be dropped back at the 28 for a 4-yard loss.
Well, I tell you what, they try to get the sprint pitch, get it quickly, try to get to the outside. The Thundering Herd just will not let them get to the outside. The only time they've had any success running the football run has been inside the tackles. The speed of Marshall shows up.
Now that was Raheem Waiters, I should say, the senior out of Quincy, West Virginia. Nice job just blowing through the hole. On second down, Lowry getting chased out of the pocket to the safety valve, and he doesn't get anything. Jawan Wynn on the reception.
Here comes the dime package for Marshall. Now, out of this package, they'll do a lot of different things. They can rush 3 or they can bring 6. They'll do a lot of different matchups here. They will play a matchup zone where they'll match up on all the outside receivers and play with a free safety running deep and come after you a lot of times in these situations. If you're Rhode Island, protect the football right here. You're in the football game, protect the football.
Harold Cooper, by the way, was that last player the pass was intended to, and he remains in the backfield. Third down and a long 15 for Mark Lowry. He's done a nice job tonight. Here comes the pressure backside. He slips away, plants the feet, throws, incomplete. Nice job, though, by Lowry just getting away from the rush. And here's the thing, though. I think if you're right now, you're Rhode Island, you have forced 2 turnovers. You haven't capitalized on them.
At all. And they only rushed 3 that time. 8 dropped back in coverage. 3 got the pressure, disrupted the play by forcing them to the outside. They're going to have to punt it away again.
And here's Anthony DePaula. DeAndre Reeves now back along with Tommy Schuler. Donquell Green, of course, had the fumble in last 2 punts. He hasn't been back for the return. DePaula, not a good snap, barely gets it off, end over end. Picked up by Schuler, looking for a block. A little hesitation. Big hit as he goes over the 30-yard line. 7:35 left to play in the opening half. Marshall cannot shake away from a very stubborn Ram team of Rhode Island.
They used to have cable. I only got some of the games. Now that I have DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket, I can watch every game every Sunday, which means that everyone wants to come over to my place. And the first rule of hosting, you never want to run out of ice.
Become the world's most powerful fan. Get NFL Sunday Ticket included at no extra charge. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
What brought me to ODU was the fact that ODU is a research university. You get to work with a wide range of individuals, and that's something that I really relish about Old Dominion University. You have all these different activities on campus. You have many different opportunities to develop social bonds and to have different experiences. It's amazing to create something new and beneficial and revolutionary. That's Idea Fusion at Old Dominion University.
Fantasy football is back. And DraftKings.com ain't messing around. Any player can become a legend of winning with a shot at thousands, even millions every week. And with DraftKings.com's one-day games, you're not locked in. It's like having a new season every time you play. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Now, who here is ready for some fantasy football? Get to DraftKings.com for giant one-day cash prizes and massive weekly contests. Use promo code SUNDAY to play and get free entry in the $5 million Week 1 Kickoff Bash September 7th. Get to DraftKings.com now.
7-0 is our score. The Thundering Herd just barely ahead of Rhode Island Rams. I want to remind you, next Saturday on the American Sports Network, we have 3 games on tap. 3:30 Eastern, you'll see Lehigh at New Hampshire. Also at 3:30, Alabama A&M visiting the Blazers of UAB. And at 8 o'clock, New Mexico State and UTEP. Keith and I will be there. All times listed, of course, are Eastern, so check your local listings in the area. And during the timeout, Remy Watson was escorted to the locker room, and we hope to get an update on his condition, but it doesn't look good for him coming back tonight. So now, Doc Holliday, you talked about the fact that we were hoping to see, guys like Stuart Butler and Brandon Bird tonight running the football, and might just see that.
I think you'll see a different group of guys as you get into it, and there's great line push up front, but you just look at this. Johnson, just tough to bring down. 1, 2, 3 guys get shots at him.
And they're taking shots at him again. And we have a flag come flying in.
Holding, number 83 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Eric Frohnhappel, who's taken the place of Gator Hoskins, now with the Miami Dolphins. Congratulations, Gator. Undrafted, all of a sudden makes the team. He was a big mainstay at that tight end spot for Marshall the last couple of years.
Outstanding football player. Eric is a good football player as well, but anytime they're running to your side as a tight end and you reach up and grab somebody, it has a tendency to draw a flag.
Especially when you're 6'7". Of course, his brother played a little backup quarterback last year and transferred to UMass. He's probably watching tonight. First down and a bundle. They go to the run game. Johnson, big hole. Cuts to the outside, inside the 20, stays on his feet, inside the 10. Did he go out of bounds? Waiting for the signal. They're saying he's out at the 1. What a run.
This is a highlight film. Great job up front, untouched into the secondary. Man coverage on the outside, so all the defenders are running with the wide receivers. But watch this at the end. One guy there at the 22. 2 misses him. 3, 4 gets down inside the 1.
First and goal. Ball is loose. 4th fumble tonight. But this time Marshall falls on it. And now Cato gives a little shove. How about Devin Johnson, though? He was a tight end. They call him Rockhead. He had a 55-yard run last week, 64 yards tonight.
Trying to run the zone read. Cato was going to pull it out and try to get in the end zone. Then right at the end, the defender trying to rip it out. Cato took exception to that. Neither team flagged on the play, though.
117 yards on 9 carries for Johnson tonight. They give it to him again, looking to break tackles. Gets down back to the 1-foot line. Here is where Rakeem Cato is so dangerous in the red zone. 58 career touchdown passes, only 1 interception for Cato.
Lost his helmet, and he got smashed in the head with his helmet off. This young man kept playing right here. We'll try to get the number, but you watch his helmet comes off, and then his teammate comes in and hits him right there without his helmet.
Mike Rinaldi.
Can you imagine football without a helmet as they played years ago?
Mike Rinaldi out of Jesuit High School in Dallas, Texas, and he's fired up. He's got a marine biology degree and a poli-sci degree, and he has a minor in Latin. He's a tough cookie.
Tough young man.
3rd down and goal now for Marshall. Cato looking, tucks it, flips it, incomplete. Almost his 2nd red zone interception in his career.
Well, Cato that time, in my opinion, should have tucked the football in and just went ahead and put it in the end zone with his feet. He was looking downfield. That was a mental mistake right there. You don't see him make many. He is a guy that's trying to force the action a little bit.
That's right.
Instead of allowing the action to come, Ron, he's forcing it right now.
Well, they were 5 for 5 in the red zone last week. The numbers on Rakeem Cato tonight, not Rakeem Cato-like numbers. 4th down, they're 0 for 1 on 4th tonight already. That's Johnson to his left. Johnson bangs. I don't think he got in. No, they're saying he was short. Great job by the defensive line of Rhode Island.
And this all happened. I really believe Rinaldi getting hit and his emotion there at the end. Simon does a great job of coming up with the tackle there at the end. But, Ron, the emotion of losing a guy like that, seeing him bleed the way he was bleeding after getting hit with the helmet to the head contact, I really believe he led the emotion to that huge stop for Rhode Island.
Well, his dad, Barney, who was also a defensive end at Rhode Island and all-conference, was probably very proud of his son the way he got up and started cheering. We come back, though. Rhode Island has their backs to the wall. Oh, man.
Can Bosley regrow your hair?
This is my own growing hair that I can comb, cut, style, do whatever I want with it.
The results I've achieved have been exceptional. This is my real hair. I can do with it whatever I want. This is mine.
Bosley gave me my hair back. I cut this hair. I wash this hair. I mess this hair up if I want to mess this hair up.
I can't explain to you the way that it made me feel to be able to wear my hair down, go out on a date, and have confidence again.
Can Bosley regrow your hair?
This is my hair. This is my hair.
Call or go online for your free, no-obligation self-evaluation kit. Plus, call in the next 6 minutes, and we'll even send you this $250 gift certificate. The information is free, so choose to grow back your own real hair. Choose Bosley. Call now.
My big idea is finding new drugs from the world's oceans.
My big idea is harnessing green energy.
To help 500 million smokers in the world to quit smoking.
To study ancient polar sediment to understand global climate change.
To create an underwater NASA to explore the world's oceans.
It's not happening in a big place,
but in a small place.
Place.
Beautiful. In a small, beautiful place.
The dawn of a new era in UAB football has arrived with head coach Bill Clark.
It's all about, we talk about making the total man. We want to create excitement. There's just so many things that we've got to do. And we're going to win the state of Alabama, period.
Legion Field hosts Alabama A&M and the Blazers of UAB next Saturday at 3:30 on ASN.
Welcome back to Huntington, West Virginia. Here is a play that may make everybody's highlight tape, and it ends up with Mike Rinaldi getting clobbered, and he takes a shot to the head after his helmet fell off, started to bleed, and he's getting tended to. And his dad, Barney, who is at the football game, came up from Dallas. There's Barney right there, and he wanted to make sure his son was okay and was double-checking him. Now Rhode Island takes over on about the 1-yard line, and Lowry again, bad field position. They haven't had great field position the entire night.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know if they have an under the center formation where he's actually under the center. I would be up because this is a quarterback sneak time. We've had so much rain. The field is just extremely wet. The football is also wet.
And it is raining again. McCombs behind him. McCombs corralled after he gets about a yard on the play.
Student section right in the end of the field here at Edwards that they're playing in. It is extremely loud on the Rams right now, having a tough time getting the snap count off. This is one of them, if you've got to play to stretch it, a quick stretch, try to do something on the outside, try to get something down the field here to get some field position.
Well, Marky Clark in the backfield now for Rhode Island, the freshman out of Wayne, New Jersey. Only 51 total yards for Rhode Island so far tonight. Trying to get out of the hole, and they may get up to about the 5-yard line. Again, a pickup of about 3 on the play by Marky Clark, getting his first collegiate carries. They're very high on Clark, along with Jordan Sebastian, a junior, and Harold Cooper, another freshman. And now it's 3rd down, and they need about 6. They are 2 of 8 on 3rd down this evening.
Base defense, timeout called by Marshall here. They're trying to conserve some clock right now because Rhode Island was going to take it down themselves probably and call timeout, try to take some. They're trying to shorten this game. They don't want to play with length because of the speed of Marshall and the ability to score the way they do. They want to shorten the game. They want to limit the possessions, keep the football as long as they can. Now this becomes a crucial play. In the previous 3rd downs, they've run a lot of quick patterns, worried about that defensive front. I think you got to gamble a little bit right here and try to get something in the middle of the field. Everything has been to the outside throwing the football. They have had a tough time getting the ball to the slot receivers in the middle of the diamond, right in the middle of the field, right behind the linebackers.
Now Rhode Island, they were 3-9 last year, 2-6 in conference play in the Colonial Athletic Conference. And you can see their schedule coming up. And they were picked to finish 11th in the CAA this year. Albany was picked to finish it all. And, of course, Rhode Island is out of Kingston, Rhode Island. Now they're facing 3rd down and 6. Lowry takes the snap, the handoff. Marshall, nice job converging. They may have gotten 2 on the play, but a good job again by Raheem Waiters. Stop after a 2-yard gain. Waiters doing a nice job at that linebacker spot this evening.
Well, they went to 2 tight ends right there. I think it was time that you might gamble a little bit and allow Lowry to try to get the football away. Now you're going to have to punt it again. I would not be surprised to see Marshall come after it. They came after the first punt of the night. Since then, they played return.
There is Tommy Schuler waiting. 3rd time Marshall has turned the ball over, and Rhode Island did not punish him. DePaula, a driving kick. Schuler goes back to the 43-yard line, looking for something. And he is swarmed over a couple of times. Didn't get up to the 45-yard line. Andrew Bose coming up to make the stop. Schuler has been quiet tonight. I don't think he's had a catch this evening.
I don't think he's been targeted, but
I think he had once. Yeah, 1 pass. You're just waiting because, you know, when Gator Hoskins, as you look at his career numbers, just absolutely astonishing. Could be the only player in college football history to have 3 1,000-yard receiving seasons. But, you know, Gator Hoskins took so much pressure off him. And now we're wondering who's going to be that person this year since Gator is gone.
You're right.
Because somebody's got to help him get open. This time, Cato throwing right down the middle. Has Schuler caught down to the 12-yard line.
Just at the right time. We talked about trying to get to the slot receivers in the middle of the field. Cato with an excellent throw right here. Perfect. Hit him on the numbers. Got inside on the press coverage from the slot receiver and gets him into the red zone.
And he picked up 30 on the play. Closing in on 3 minutes left in the opening half. Cato, not great numbers tonight. Comes out throwing again into the end zone off the fingertips of Frohnapple. The big tight end who had a couple of touchdown receptions last week.
Well, again, talking about the weather, this is a ball that Eric catches most of the time. He has got really good hands for a big man, 6'7", put a lot of zip on it, but that just today, you're just not going to have that grip on the football as you would on a dry night.
And it's 2nd and goal. Cato with the handoff, left side. Stuart Butler getting his first carry of 2014, only to pick up 2 on the play. You know, it's interesting about Frohnapple because he had a touchdown catch last week. There was pass interference called. The defender was all over him. And
it was beautiful. You and I both got to see that play. It was a beautiful catch.
And now it's 3rd down. Inside of 3 minutes to play in the opening half. Ball is at the 8-yard line. Butler in the backfield. Cato will pull it up, has pressure, goes into the corner. That looks like a miscommunication. And the fans didn't like it. And it was so interesting because last week we thought it was uncharacteristic how Rakeem Cato threw the football. He did not throw it well. Come to find out, he had a jersey problem last week.
It was too small. With the new styles in the jersey, you can see the bubble on the side of that jersey right there. His shoulder pads made it a little bit restrictive. They changed the shirt size a little bit. He was throwing the ball much better this week. I think the gains went up front right there. We go back and look at that replay. You'll see a twist up front caused him to throw it early.
Now Justin Haig from 25 yards. He was perfect last year from that distance, and he's perfect this season. His first field goal of the year. So with 2:22 left to play in the opening half, Marshall knocking on the door after the big 30-yard pass play, Cato to Schuler, but they only come away with 3.
Right. He does a nice job right here on a day when it's tough to kick, tough to do the little things. Nice hole, kick, and it's a 10-0 ball game. Quite frankly, I didn't think we'd be 10-0 at this point.
No.
If you're the Rams, you got to think, hey, we're right here in this football game, and Doc Holliday right there probably not happy with this club. They just haven't executed offensively the way that they thought they would do. They wanted to stretch the field, run in the middle of the diamond. But where they have struggled, it's a place they never struggle. That's in the red zone. And that's just something they haven't done over the last couple of years.
Well, you look at last year's numbers in the red zone, 92% success rate. That's incredible. Touchdowns at 79%. And you see the scoring drive, 38 yards, took them 5 plays, about a minute and 17. And once again, starting the game, Rhode Island had gone 140 minutes without scoring a point. And they're got a goose egg on there now, again. McCombs just going to take a knee, and they'll have the ball with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. Does that start to play on your mind?
I don't think there's a doubt about it. I think it plays on play callers' minds as much as anybody else, too. As a coach, you're thinking, how can I put my kids in the best position where we can get some points on the board? We can celebrate as a team and high-five guys coming off the field saying, all right, we got some points. No matter what the score is, just get in the end zone and accomplish what you want to do offensively, and that's put points on the board.
Well, Bill Blyle's the offensive coordinator. He's outstanding. He was at Iowa State before joining Coach Fleming's staff. Marshall, 312 yards, but only 10 points. They, too, haven't finished. And now McCombs and Cooper will join Lowry in the backfield for the Rams. 5 on the line. Now they back off. Marshall does.
Delay game.
Whistle,
on the
delay
offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, that's adjustment to the clock. It's a 40-second clock when play is underway, after you run your first down play. It's 25-second clock if you're just starting a possession. So the clock caught up to him right there.
4th penalty on Rhode Island tonight. Cooper and McCombs still in the backfield. And I think they're going to be very content just letting this clock run down. Now Lowry lost his helmet. He's got to come out. The redshirt freshman, James Caparel, has to come in. Has to come out for one play.
I think at this point you want to protect the football. You don't want to give up any more points here right before the half. Now you're going to have to kick off to start the second half because Marshall won the toss and deferred.
And there's a good look at Caparel, 6'1", 195 out of Bedford, New Hampshire. Probably in for one play. Cooper is behind him.
Play clock's getting really low again.
It's 2-1, and they're going to have to burn the timeout with 1:34 left to play in the half. I think Rhode Island, though, outside of the fact offensively, you haven't done a whole lot. Only 56 total yards. You got to be pleased, pretty, defensively.
You're right, and we look forward to what Marshall has in conference play. A team that a lot of us that cover the Conference USA are looking at it going, probably one of the better teams in Conference USA. They have Frank Solich, a friend of yours, who's the head coach at Ohio, coming here. And then they have to travel on the road where the Zips played really well today against Penn State. And then they get into Conference USA play, the Old Dominion. You look at that schedule.
That's the big game on October. That's when they open up Conference USA play. And they don't play UTSA. They don't play North Texas. And once again, they're pretty much the unanimous selection to win the East.
Yeah, you look at him, and rightly so. I think when you have a guy that, quite frankly, I think should be considered as an All-American candidate at quarterback.
Absolutely. He's unknown, Rakeem Cato, and he's better than his numbers have been the last couple of games so far. Well, Lowry's able to come back in to the lineup after the timeout. So that's a pretty smart play by Coach Fleming.
And he took some time off of the clock.
And McCombs comes back into the backfield with 1:34 left in the half. The quick toss. Nice defensive effort again by Marshall. Robbie Jackson was the receiver, but you saw how quickly Corey Tyndall closed on the play.
Boy, I tell you what, this is a great read as a corner. Read bubble screen, defeat your block, go make the tackle, and that's exactly what he did.
Conference USA, co-freshman of the year last season for Tyndall. Been in a lot of plays, and he played the nickel last year. Now they're putting him at cornerback. They had to make some adjustments in that secondary. Now Marshall called the timeout. That's their second timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Rhode Island facing third down. We'll call it about 12. And a good look at Doc Holliday. And one thing I like about Doc, spending time with him going back to July, you know, we talked a lot about the expectations. And Thursday in practice, talking about that after practice, about the expectations are high. But, Keith, you'll love a coach that says, and you were very good friends with Matt Brown, he loved it when the expectations were high.
You want your team to come to work every day saying, I got a target on my chest.
That's exactly right.
Because the expectations of our team, we're supposed to be good. If you don't have that, it's hard sometimes to get kids to buy in to work at what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you got those expectations, one of the things you as a player, you know that your coaching staff expect you to do the job each and every day you come to practice.
That's one of my favorite guys is Doc Holliday and his job he has done here in his 5th season. You saw Chuck Heater next to him giving the defensive signals. Third down and 13. They run the little draw play. Penalty flag comes flying in. Lyle McCombs well short of the first down, up to about the 28-yard line.
Well, I think they'll decline this penalty and punt the football away. Marshall used the timeout. This is going to be holding in the interior part of the line, and it will bring up 4th down. They'll have to punt the football away. They also put 11 seconds back on the clock previously to that play to get it back to a
number
minute 30
68
seconds.
of the offense.
But I'm sure this will be declined.
That penalty is declined. 4th
Rhode Island
down.
will have to punt it away again
Timeout,
here in
Marshall.
the first half.
32nd, their last.
And they're using the last timeout. John Green. Halch was the man who was called for holding. So now if you're Marshall, you still have a lot of time. A minute and 25 is a lot. Considering their opening drive of this football game, it took them 44 seconds to score.
Yeah, DePaula has got some pressure on him right here, too, as a punter. He's had a good first half. He's got to get this ball off, first of all. And then the second thing you got to cover here, try to make them at least go 60 yards to try to find pay dirt.
This will be the 8th punt for Anthony DePaula. He's going to have his leg ice down on the way back to Rhode Island. Schuler and DeAndre Reeves standing awaiting the kick. Here comes the rush up the middle. DePaula gets it away. Schuler takes it on one hop, slips and wisely steps out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. He did stop the clock. Bose was right there anyway. Now we got a little pushing and shoving down at about the 40-yard line. And quickly separated by the officials. So what do you expect Marshall to do right now?
Well, the one thing they've been able to do is for the first time they found Tommy Schuler, their best receiver.
Right.
I think that's a key for them. You can still use the middle of the field because 10 yards, this play clock stops.
From the end of the run, first down.
Wow, that will not make that man happy.
He will not, and you can tell right there. You don't see him lose his cool very often, but quite upset about that right there. That will be brought up, I guarantee, in the meeting when they get inside at halftime, I promise you.
Boy, I tell you what, because here you are, you've got decent field position with plenty of time on the clock. Now you're backed up to the 25-yard line.
Hey, chances of coming away with points went down considerably. And see if Rhode Island doesn't match up here and play 2-deep zone. That's exactly what they're going to do. They got a nickel package into the game. They will match up with every wide receiver and play 2 deep safeties.
Once again, Devin Johnson back in the backfield. Remy Watson has gone out with an injury. Rakeem Cato puts it up, throws incomplete, far side of the field. A little bit short on the play.
That's, again, that is a weather-related throw right there. You could see it. The ball just didn't come out of his hand because he can really spin it. When the ball comes out of his hand, he throws a very good spiral when he throws the football. That was out of his hand, did not look good.
Well, 4 of 13 tonight, but 125 yards. Looks to add on that. And again, it came out of his hand flat. And it was intended for Craig Wilkins. You know, and you mentioned it. I was at practice Thursday. I don't think he missed one pass, and that's not exaggerating.
Well, I watched him warming up today.
Yeah, he had some zip on the ball.
And he was hitting everything.
Uncharacteristic of him. He'll settle down, though. Third down and 10. One's across the board on the time clock. Cato tucks it. He's got the first down and then some. Still on his feet, heads to the sideline and wisely steps out of bounds after directing traffic a little bit.
Well, this is a nice job. He felt, sometimes as a quarterback you can feel that hole open. You can see it just open up right in front of him. It just makes a great move on the best defender for Rhode Island. That is their best defender. He just made a great move, got to the sideline, got the clock stopped.
Longest rush in 2 years. Cato this time the deep out. Clock is stopped. Pass is caught inside the 45, down to the 43-yard line. Devontae Allen already has a 39 and a 30-yard catch tonight.
About 20 yards to field goal range at this point. Maybe 15.
Now second and about a yard and a half. See if they mix it up with Devin Johnson to run. Instead, they go out to the near side. Pass is caught. Wilkins looking for running room. Gets down to about the 27-yard line. Clock stopped again with 49 as they move the chains.
Just too much cushion on the outside. Just giving ground. He was 12 to 14 yards off of the ball. That's an easy pitch and catch.
Clock is running. Cato going back. Rush up the middle. He reads it. Schuler sidesteps. Looking for Pater. Touchdown, Marshall.
That's a real nice job of a big third down conversion, and that is a backbreaker for the Rams of Rhode Island. They have really played a good first half, and they come down, have a big 3rd and 10, and Cato does it with his feet and then does it with his arm.
Tommy Schuler's second touchdown reception of the season. 2-time All-Conference. That's what we were talking about. That's why he's had a couple of 100-yard reception seasons. Extra point by Haig, and it is good. Well, we talked about they had a lot of time on the clock. There's still 36 seconds. Watch this move, though, by Schuler. Whoops.
That does a nice job, and he keeps his eyes up into the end zone. Great blocking up front. Rhode Island came after Cato that time. They brought 6, and that means you have single coverage outside, and Schuler is just nearly impossible in single coverage.
Well, Schuler-Cato connection, much has been written about it and talked about. These two have known each other since they were 6 years old. Rakeem Cato had a tough life. Mother died when he was 13 years of age. His father was incarcerated at the time. And Tommy Schuler and his mom and his family kind of took Rakeem Cato in. They were brothers. They said they even slept at separate ends of the beds at times. And actually, when Rakeem Cato was being recruited, he thought he was going to FIU. Tommy Schuler knew he was coming here and basically told Rakeem, you got to come with me.
That's exactly right. And Doc Holliday's glad that he did.
Schuler 2 receptions, 63 yards and a touchdown tonight. Allen 3 receptions and 77 yards. Just an incredible special bond between the two youngsters out of Miami Central High School.
I tell you what a nice job that Coach Holliday's done at going down and recruiting Florida. More than 40 players on this roster from the state of Florida.
Said he started recruiting there in 1979. And now with 36 seconds left, his defense comes into play. And I tell you, they will go down. You talk about Chad Pennington and Randy Moss. These two may not have the NFL credentials of those two, but they'll go down in Marshall history as pretty doggone good.
They will. And again, you think about the state of Florida and being able to recruit in that state. That's important to go get that talent.
Now Rhode Island's doing the smart thing. They just go ahead and take the knee as the clock goes inside of 30 seconds. It was 7-0 after Marshall's first possession of the game, and it stayed that way until late here in the second quarter when Marshall was able to hang on and put on another 10 to make it a 17-0 game.
Well, you look at it, the drive that got the touchdown right before the half, that's gigantic because Marshall can go in and say, all right, we're into the flow of the game now. For Rhode Island, that was a backbreaker. There's no doubt. You're right in the ball game. You've played a great first half. You've held them to 10. You had the football, couldn't get one first down and run the clock out.
Well, our halftime score, 17-0. The Thundering Herd over the Rams of Rhode Island on the other side of the break. We'll send it to Mick Schaefer in our ASN studios.
You're watching the American Sports Network, Sinclair Broadcast Group's collegiate sports channel, the new home to Conference USA, the Colonial Athletic Association, Big South Conference, Southern Conference, and the Patriot League. In the coming months, watch your favorite college teams across ASN's network of channels throughout the United States. Touchdown. Tune in each Saturday for ASN's live college football coverage. Over 50 games this season. Witness spectacular touchdowns, crunching hits, and fist-pumping, edge-of-your-seat action that'll take your breath away. And later this fall, college basketball comes your way on ASN. Slam dunks, buzzer beaters, he fires it. Oh, he fired it! Monster blocks, threes, and more threes. For the tie. Don't miss a minute of all the court-storming action as teams battle for conference supremacy and invites to the NCAA tournament. The American Sports Network, your new home for live college sports.
Koch Industries started in the heartland, and we've expanded to nearly every state. Today, that's more than 60,000 American jobs. You may not always see our name on the products you use, but we help make better food, clothing, shelter, technologies, and other necessities. Here, we build on each other's ideas to create more opportunities for people everywhere. Together, we are Koch.
College football on the American Sports Network is brought to you by KochCareers.com. Ron, Keith, thank you. There's your score at the half. Marshall playing its home opener of the 2014 season. First game of the season for the Rams. We hope you're enjoying this conference. Schaefer. Coming up, Marshall's Rakeem Cato usually dominates games. Well, today he'll dominate halftime as well. If you're still not quite sure how good he is, we'll rectify that situation for you. Ohio next week. We won't have that game, but we're serving up these three, Lehigh and New Hampshire at 3:30 Eastern, the Mountain Hawks and the Wildcats. At the same time, we'll kick off Alabama A&M and UAB. 100 miles separate these two campuses. And speaking of proximity, New Mexico State visits UTEP, just a 40-mile drive down I-10. Stay with us. Halftime continues here on ASN.
I'm big into fantasy football. That's why I got DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket. They've got a new channel that's fully dedicated to nothing but fantasy. It takes you player to player live, so you can see everything as it happens and watch your fantasy players rack up their points, which kind of gets me excited.
Become the world's most powerful fan. Get the new Fantasy Zone channel with NFL Sunday Ticket, only on DirecTV.
When I daydream, I don't think about PowerPoint charts. I daydream about football. It's such a beautiful game. It's this massive array of strategy, competitiveness, athleticism. So when you ask what a CEO does, drives performance, knows how to develop other people, and how to set standards. All three of those things come back to what I learned when I was playing football. I'm Jeff Immelt. I'm chairman and CEO of GE, and I'm a football player.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't worry. 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Next weekend's forecast calls for plenty of white in the Sun Bowl as the New Mexico State Aggies roll into town to duel with the UTEP Miners.
30, near side, here he goes. 40, at the 50, at the 40, he's gone. The 30, the 20, the 10. Autry Golden, touchdown, Miners! It's a whiteout game day in El Paso, Saturday at 8, only on ASN. Welcome back to Halftime here on ASN. My name is Mick Schaefer. Russell Wilson holds the NCAA record of most consecutive games with a touchdown pass. 38 straight, remarkably, between two schools. Well, Marshall's Rakeem Cato is on pace to break that record in October. Thundering Herd quarterbacks past and present recently sat down to make sure that streak isn't the #1 priority for Cato.
Because I can't do what you just did, all right? I've got that I know who can run because I certainly can. So that's where the situational awareness comes in. That's the next level for any quarterback. But also, here's the point that needs to be made. With all the hype around you, with all the expectation for you to make the big throw, to throw 4 touchdowns in a game, every game, right? If you throw 2, oh, what's wrong with Cato? Well, he went 25 for 30. They won by 35. There's nothing wrong with him, right? But this is the natural fight and temptation for a guy that's in your position. Play every play and to find ways to win. Because at the end of the day, our job, Parcells used to say it, 2 things. Number 1, get your team in the end zone. Number 2, most importantly, win the football game. That's what you are. You're the general. You're the captain of the ship. So if we've got to go down to Clemson in '99 and we've got to win 13-10 and it's not pretty, that's what we've got to do. Right? Same thing here. And this may happen coming up in your 4th year.
Just the fact that Cato is bordering on records at his own school is impressive. After all, it is the alma mater of NFL quarterbacks Chad Pennington and Byron Leftwich. If he stays healthy, Cato could pass Leftwich in yards and is within striking distance of Pennington. Heading into this game, Cato was 21 touchdown passes shy of Pennington's all-time mark of 115. And if you're asking, can he do it? Just know over the past 8,100 yards and 76 touchdowns. By comparison, over the past 2 seasons, Johnny Manziel threw for 7,800 yards and 63 touchdowns. So come to think of it, Cato probably itching to get back out on the field at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. So back out to Ron Thulin and Keith Moreland after this break. Thanks for watching Halftime here on ASN.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. I made it.
At the forefront of education stands a small school with a big story. One of pioneers, leaders, and entrepreneurs, of Oscars, Pulitzers, and Nobel Prizes. A story of the world's most brilliant minds working together to challenge convention, making discoveries that will change the course of history, and innovations that will change everything. Rice University, advancing the world with unconventional wisdom.
You are watching the American Sports Network.
Marshall scored the first time they had the football. Then they went into a drought until the second quarter, but they do lead 17-0. We are at halftime. Hello again, everybody, along with Keith Moreland. I'm Ron Thulin. Good to have you with us. Once again, to kind of recap things, the start of the game delayed about 30 minutes because of torrential rain and lightning. Got things started. It didn't seem to bother Marshall on that first drive, Keith, but after that, things kind of stalled.
You know, you look at what happened. You see the emotion of playing your first home football game of the year, and they came out and got a big play on the second play from scrimmage, and they just ignited right there. But, boy, it just sort of – the wind came out of the sail after that point. You got to give some credit to Rhode Island defensively for that, because they did a good job. And then the turnovers, a major part of this first half, sort of slowed down Marshall the rest of the half until we got in the last 3 minutes.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights, and we do have them in color tonight despite the weather. When you talk about the turnovers, and that was part of the problem, and once again the weather playing a little havoc with us.
Well, you just get an end, and then Johnson right off the bat just gets in the end zone after a big play down the field, and it's 7-0. And you see Cato right here getting to the outside, another big play. This is a huge third down conversion that gets him down in territory to get into the end zone again as Schuler makes a nice move, scores the second touchdown right before the half, and that makes it 17-0. But how did we get there? They stayed in the game, did Rhode Island with the turnover, Ron, and they forced them, and the weather had a lot to do with it.
Absolutely, and Rhode Island had problems moving the football. In fact, for the first half, only 1.8 yards per play as opposed to 10.5 for Marshall in that first half.
But they came up with a huge defensive stop. Mike Rinaldi right here, a tough young man. He's got his helmet off, gets hit right in the helmet, and it brings up a fourth down opportunity where Marshall's truly trying to break the game wide open. Rinaldi helps his team. They come up with that big fourth down stop, get the football back.
Now, what stat stands out to you?
Well, I think 1.8 yards per play. I mean, obviously, you can't score points if you're only getting 1.8 yards per play.
Right.
And the other one is the 10.5 points per game. You know why that stands out to me? Because you only got 17 points in the first half, and you've been able to make enough plays to to average over 10 yards a play, but you're not putting points on the board.
I think Doc Holliday, and knowing him over the last couple of years, probably telling his team, listen, we had a couple of fumbles, obviously, that stopped ourselves, but there's still plenty of time in this football game. We just have to continue and play the course.
Yeah, you know, what you've got to do right here is come out and not make mistakes. Right. And they made too many mistakes. They turned the football over. That's going to be something they got to take care of here in the second half.
Bottom line is we still have a second half of football. Hopefully the rain will stay away. 17-0 is our halftime score. Marshall, Devin Johnson coming out on the field for half number 2.
Conference USA celebrates 20 years. Each Conference USA member has a history of greats.
Southern Miss has Brett Favre.
Louisiana Tech has Terry Bradshaw.
Alfred Morris is a part of FAU's history.
Tommy Kramer's from Rice.
Marshall has Chad Green.
North Texas is proud to claim Mean Joe Green.
Together, we are the next 20 years, the next generation of Conference USA.
Don't miss 1 minute of Who's Next.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The dawn of a new era in UAB football has arrived with head coach Bill Clark.
It's all about, we talk about making the total man. We want to create excitement. There's just so many things that we've got to do. And we're going to win the state of Alabama, period.
Legion Field hosts Alabama A&M and the Blazers of UAB next Saturday at 3:30 on ASN.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every budget, so don't accept defeat.
Now you can get covered and still
buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Under Doc Holliday, Marshall 22-2, and they lead at halftime. They have a lead at 17-0. Rakeem Cato now has thrown a touchdown pass in 34 consecutive games. That's the best among active FBS quarterbacks. Record, of course, is Russell Wilson at North Carolina State. He threw for 38. Well, we still have second half, and, of course, Marshall will get the football to begin the second half. Do you think they'll come out winging the ball, or do you think they'll come out more patient on offense?
I really truly think the first and foremost thing that they're going to do is stay within what they wanted to do in their game plan. And we were told yesterday pretty much their game plan is we're going to start out in the middle.
Right.
We're going to run the ball in the middle. So I think you're going to see a diet of the run in the middle. And the other thing that we were told last night they wanted to do, that they've been able to do in this game, is stretch the field from their outside receivers. They've been able to do that in the game. But when they really got down to crunch time, and you and I know this is a good football team and has got a great chance to win a conference championship in Conference USA, the connection of Cato to Schuler is the main connection.
Big time.
So when you look at that, if they get in trouble, it will be 12-1. And that's what their numbers are. Cato's 12, 1 is Schuler. That's the combination that they're going to go to.
I would have to think that we're going to see more of Tommy Schuler in that second half. But the defense, obviously, for Marshall has played extremely well. We touched on it briefly, just their defensive improvement last season. They had the biggest defensive improvement as far as points scored against them in college football. That was incredible. They improved by 20 points a game. Chuck Heater telling us one of his goals, they want to go down 4 from that.
Yes, 16 points a game.
Yeah, because that North Texas had 17 last year and they were best in the conference. So
I tell you what, 16 points a game, that means you're going to win a bunch of football games.
So we are ready. Second half, rain has stopped momentarily. Crowd has hung on despite the fact it has come down hard throughout this football game. Of course, delaying the start for 30 minutes. Anthony DePaula set to kick it away. Update on Remy Watson. They're calling it a leg injury. Of course, he was injured after the fumble, and he is not expected to return for this football game, and they're hoping to give him a week or so off. Marshall up to about the 26-yard line is DeAndre Reeves, the junior out of Sterling, Virginia, 21 yards on the return. Marshall's always had a good return game. And now they get football pretty good field position.
They do get pretty good field position, but one of the things that special teams, Coach Holliday, you were at practice on Thursday when you came back, the first thing you said to me, he says, Keith, he really pays a whole lot of attention to special teams. Yeah, well, it's that third part of the game, and it's a part of the game that just skills you, especially early in the season.
And there is Remy Watson on the sideline. Hopefully he'll be okay for next week's game and especially conference play. So Rakeem Cato goes back to work, and he hands off to Johnson. Straight up the middle, first down. Already over the century mark running. He picks up 12 on the play before Winclaw runs him down. Not a bad first half. 120 yards on 11 carries.
Yeah, and they're going quickly now. That's another. They want to change the pace.
Cato this time looking right, rolling right. Has some time looking for the sideline. Finally scampers out of bounds just short of midfield, but it will be another first down. 2 plays, 2 first downs.
Well, looking to his left, didn't find a receiver, then saw all the space to the outside, just picks up a first down and gets out of bounds. Don't take a hit in that situation. Go ahead and get your body out of bounds.
Now they go 4 wide receiver set, 1 in the backfield. Looking left, throwing left. Caught. Demetrius Evans. His 3rd reception of the year, good for 6 yards.
You're on the short side of the field to 1 hash mark, and you throw a 7-yard out all the way across the field. That takes tremendous arm strength to make that throw.
Now he's got some spin, sets up 2nd and short. Devin Johnson battling his way, maybe gets a yard, maybe 2 on the play. Andrew Bose, the senior out of Huntington, Maryland. I like the way he moves around a lot. Bose. He does a great job. Came into this game with 170 career tackles.
He
led
wraps
the team
up
last year. Absolutely, every play.
Wraps up.
And it's 3rd down and short. They need 2. Johnson alone in the backfield with Cato. Rhode Island showing blitz. They give it to Johnson. Hits the line of scrimmage hard, and he will have the first down inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. Adam Parker coming up from that middle linebacker spot to make the stop.
Well, double eagle look up front. They just had every gap filled. Just nice blocking on zone blocking that time by the 5 guys up front. Do a nice job separated. We got a new tailback coming into the game. That might be Stewart.
Well, they got to give Johnson a breather.
Hard to see the numbers.
It is Butler. Pass is caught, almost picked off. This may be 6. Fumble, and Rhode Island will get it again. And Rakeem Cato has got to be frustrated. Ball security by Devontae Allen was not good.
Well, we couldn't tell who it was. Allen makes a nice move up the sidelines right here. He's trying to find a way, makes a little stutter step move, tries to get in his zone. Ball gets stripped right there, recovered at about the 1.5-yard line. Boy, turnovers have been a major part of this game. You know, the team that hasn't turned it over, though, is down 17-0.
Tim Winclaw, who's been in on about every play tonight, the junior out of Valley Stream, New York, has started every game in his career. He's the one that put the helmet on the ball. 5 fumbles tonight for Marshall. They've lost 3. Now Devontae Allen has got to forget about it. Can't let that play beat you twice. And now Rhode Island goes to work. Markey Clark on the carry.
You don't see him often in a 2-back set. And they come to a 2-back set. 5 fumbles tonight. 3 of them have led to turnovers. Rhode Island has not been able to take advantage of those turnovers.
Let's put it this way. They had 15 fumbles all of last year. They've got 6 in the first 2 games. And Rhode Island just using some muscle up front. DJ Hunter finally bringing down Markey Clark, not before he picked up 5.
Markey Clark has done a nice job. He's a true freshman, 5'11", 230-pounder, and you can see he carries a load at the end. He punishes you at the end of the run right there. They're excited about this young man. They have a pretty good mix of power and speed out of that tailback position.
Now Jackson and Wynn both on the near side. Clark's going to stay in the backfield. Go with a double tight end situation, broken play, and Lowry's got to make something out of it. Looks to do just that, and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, where they're going to say picked up a yard on the play. Taquan Lang on the stop.
Well, just one of the two of them had a different formation and a different play out of the pistol. As he turns to the right to hand it off, the running back goes to the left. And it's one of those things that first game jitters, even though it's the start of the second half. And the other part of that is we're going to have to get to is Rhode Island's really struggling to score in any capacity.
Now they're over 162 minutes now since the last time they scored, dating back to last year. Wow, McCombs back in the backfield. Little play action. Lowry throwing over the middle. Intercepted at the 32-yard line. Finally, Marshall forces the turnover inside down to the 14-yard line. The pick by Taj Letman. His second interception, first interception of the year.
Mac Lowry steps into this throw too high. The O-tip drill, it's behind the receiver and up. And once a receiver goes up and tips it, that's secondary, especially when you got a 2-deep zone. They're waiting for that ball to come down. Letman comes up with it and see if the Thundering Herd can put this thing away right here. This is what they're trying to do right now. They can really step on the gas.
Stuart Butler now in the backfield. I would go right back to Devontae Allen.
You're right.
You know, just get it out of his, get that bad taste out of his mouth. He's on the far side of the field now. You see that in the NFL a lot.
Yes, you do.
Cato. He's going to have to call a timeout. Doesn't like what he sees.
Again, that was a play clock situation. You have 25 seconds is different than 40.
I couldn't see
Look
the number
at that.
either.
Brett Favre. Justin Verlander. Mean Joe Green. Teresa Weatherspoon. T.Y. Hilton. Randy Moss. All players from Conference USA schools. The question is, who is the next Favre? Who's the next Verlander? The next Moss? We're about to find out.
From the very beginning, your life was made up of a series of moments. Each moment requires you to make a choice. Sometimes you don't really have much of a choice. But for the moments that you do, the big moments, what will you choose? Choose to discover your own path, to defy expectations, to be challenged. Choose to ask, what if? To make a difference. Choose to give back. Choose to do something that matters and make every moment count. Choose Southern Miss.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. and drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
17-0 our score. If you're watching at home, you can be part of the action by linking American Sports Network on Facebook at facebook.com/live on ASN and following us on Twitter at live on ASN. So you can follow us every which way. And there's a good look at Taj Letman, who came up with his first interception of the year, had one last season. And now Marshall with great field position. Devontae Allen will go wide to the left. Stuart Butler in the backfield with Cato. Only 3 down linemen now for Rhode Island, but they bring 2 up. And they rush 5. Butler up the middle, just barely tripped up.
Just nice seal block turn. You're right. They have 3 down linemen. They bring 3 linebackers up. Again, trying to get gap protection. It just gets a hand on him from the outside and trips him up. Or he would have walked into the end zone.
Kalini Kennedy came up with a nice little stop, reaching out. Brings up a 2nd and 5. Butler will stay in. Four wide receiver set. Butler again, spinning, bangs his way down to the 5-yard line. Donovan Walker coming up from the strong safety spot, but he picked up 5.
Nice job with his feet right there. It's one of the things they want to get this young man into the game if they think he's going to be special. He showed me right there that he's got good eyes and good vision and quick feet. Made a nice side lateral move in the hole to get that first down.
Well, right now the offensive line is dominating for Marshall. You look at the 2 guards at Brooks and Selby. Jaspers at center. Go back to the run again, down to the 2-yard line. Tim Winclaw again on the stop.
Well, had a 4-down stop inside the 5-yard line in the first half. And offensive linemen don't like that, so they're saying over there, let's run the football, let's put it in running right now.
Keep an eye on that left tackle. That's A.J. Addison, an extremely talented freshman. Low snap. Cato picks it up into the end zone. Touchdown, Marshall. Angelo Gene Lewis, his first touchdown reception as a member of Marshall.
Now this is a nice move to the outside. He sails the outside like he's going on a deep out right at the back of the end zone, then cuts it right back to the goalpost inside. Good pitch and catch for the touchdown.
If you go look at Rakeem Cato, he really spent time with Gene Lewis in the spring. They got in sync together because he knew that he would need the young redshirt freshman out of Wellington, Florida. Look at it again, Keith.
Well, just exactly what we thought. When you get to the outside and you sell the outside, Cato's right there, cuts back to the inside, puts his feet down in the end zone.
Next weekend's forecast calls for plenty of white in the Sun Bowl as the New Mexico State Aggies roll into town to duel with the UTEP Miners.
30, near side, here he goes. 40, at the 50, at the 40, he's gone. The 30, the 20, the 10. Autry Golden, touchdown, Miners!
It's a whiteout game day in El Paso, Saturday at 8, only on ASN.
The Marshall University Jones Edwards School of Medicine and Marshall Health, committed to advancing excellence in healthcare research and medical education. Dean Joseph Shapiro and the faculty and staff wish the Thundering Herd a winning and healthy season. Get ready, Herd fans, on Saturday, October 11th, as your Marshall Thundering Herd takes on Middle Tennessee State University in a homecoming clash. KFC will hold the inaugural KFC Bucket for Cash contest right here on the field at Jones Edwards Stadium. That's a chance to win $500. In-store sign-ups begin September 19th at participating Tri-State KFC locations. KFC, a proud partner of Marshall Athletics. Go Herd!
It's about selling a route. As Cato takes the snap here on this touchdown pass. As a receiver, you got to sell the route to the outside and cut back to the inside. And that's going to get you that space. Easy pitch and catch for the touchdown that culminates a scoring drive for the Thundering Herd. They make it 24-0. Cato's done a nice job. That was a 4-play, only a 15-yard drive after the pick. Took a minute 35 seconds off of the clock.
Well, Gene Lewis was on the receiving end of that. Spent a lot of time working with wide receiver coach Mike Fury, former NFL player. Marshall now 475 yards offense. They're averaging over 10 yards a play. Combs and Holmes back to receive the kick, and they won't have the opportunity. Now we go to Rhode Island. We hate to beat this horse again, but the last time they scored was October 19th, 2013 versus Richmond. Over 162 minutes now.
Well, it's emotional now. As a coach and a coaching staff, you're just looking at it. You're probably not going to find a way to come back and win this football game, but you got to have to figure out a way to have your team celebrate. Got to have a good feeling about getting in the end zone and guys high-fiving coming back to the sidelines. Only 73 yards of total offense, outgained in this football game by more than 400 yards at this point.
Let me tell you something, though. Jim Fleming is an outstanding football coach. He's going to get this thing turned around. It's going to be long and hard, but you got to do it with the young players. You don't want to just try to get quick fixes. You want to build a program, not just a team. And we've got another delay of game.
Still first down.
That's the way they started the football game.
It is. And again, go back to the new rules if you're tuning in. After a change of possession, it's a regular 25-second clock. After a play is run, then it becomes a 40-second clock, and it's been an adjustment for the Rams.
Robbie Jackson on the near side. Lowry looks to the far side. Throws, pass. They're going to say it is complete. Pickup of about 5 on the play. They got it to Jawan Wynn out of Piscataway, New Jersey. This is an exceptional young man. Check that. That was Justin Favreau who on that catch. Had 10 receptions last season. So it's second down and 10. Not a whole lot of running room for Lyle McCombs. Did a nice job. Picked up 3 on the play. I'll tell you, McCombs has been impressive tonight, the transfer from UConn. In that first half, he was able to rush for 22 yards.
I was impressed with his blitz pickup and the other things he does besides running the football. Need a first down here.
Well, they had problems third down in the first half. They were only 2 of 10. Lowry drops back. Here's the rush, and he is put down on the ground. The rush came strong. He had absolutely no chance.
Just coming from the outside, speed rush around the corner. You got no chance if you're Lowry right there to do anything with that. The only thing you can do is just try to tuck the football away and protect the football and not fumble it.
Well, that was Gary Thompson coming on the blitz. Sophomore out of La Mesa, California. Had 3 tackles last week and a tackle for a loss, and he gets his first sack of this year. If it sounds like we're hesitating mentioning guys, these jerseys are next to impossible to read. We're not even the home radio guys were telling me on Thursday they struggle trying to read these numbers. Well, the punt will go inside the 40 down about the 38-yard line.
If you're watching this at home, you're hard to see the number even on the monitor.
They used to have cable. I only got some of the games. Now that I have DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket, I can watch every game every Sunday, which means that everyone wants to come over to my place. And the first rule of hosting, you never want to run out of ice.
Become the world's most powerful fan. Get NFL Sunday Ticket included at no extra charge. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
These are the faces that look up to you. You, the fans, the people who pack the stands week after week. So, before you walk through the stadium gates or see the first fan from the other team, ask yourself one question. Are you setting a good example for the next generation? Make sportsmanship your best play of the game and make it a great day for CUSA football.
Welcome back to Huntington, West Virginia. The Thundering Herd led 17-0 at halftime. It's 24-0 now. We are in the third quarter. Of course, the tragedy that hit on November 14th, 1970, the entire football team died in a plane crash. The memorial is in town. Just a tragedy. Of course, it came about in the or showed in the movie We Are Marshall, starring Matthew McConaughey, and it was an incredible movie. And there's the fountain that commemorates and kind of honors those who passed away. And you can't go anywhere in the city without meeting somebody who was touched by that plane crash.
It's touched me the first time I've had the opportunity to see that memorial and know what this community went through.
Well, Stuart Butler now is in the backfield to join Rakeem Cato. See if they can keep it going here in the second half. Butler getting some playing time and bangs his way up over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Selwyn Nicholas on the stop. He picked up about 3.5 on the play.
Well, this is when you're going to see an opportunity to get some guys up on front, too. Some new offensive linemen into the game. Get some guys some experience. You got one down right now. That's never scary to see one of your offensive linemen down. And he is down right there.
Well, Trevor Mendelson has checked into the lineup, the backup left guard. And that's A.J. Addison, the freshman we were talking about. And, boy, the coaches on Thursday and on Friday, glowing reports. Doc Holliday just telling us that this young man, he played better than 40 snaps against Miami of Ohio, and he graded better than 90%.
And that's really amazing for a young guy on the offensive line, especially out at the tackle position. I mean,
right.
You've got so many things you've got to worry about. You're a long way from the center's calls. When the center makes the calls, the quarterback in the center sets the defense. The center comes to the line, tells where everybody's at. And when you're way out at a tackle, sometimes that communication sometimes is tough to come up with and to have that kind of grading. So he really played well. Hope he's okay because he's going to be a really, really good football player.
Well, Sebastian Johansson was the starter at left tackle, the guy they nicknamed Swede. And I'll give you a hint. Guess where he's from?
No, I can't imagine.
Okay, just thought I'd say that. He got dinged in the Miami game, though. and they weren't sure his status for today, and A.J. Addison was going to get a lot of playing time, and he's going to limp off the field. So Remy Watson hurt with a leg injury. Pads are off. He won't return. And now A.J. Addison also off the field.
At least he's putting a little weight on that
yeah,
left
that's
leg.
always a good sign.
That's always a good sign.
And we saw Trevor Mendelson go in, the senior out of Dublin, Ohio. So it looks like he's going to move over to the left tackle spot now. We'll have to wait and see. But it's 2nd down and 7. Ball's on the 41-yard line. There's a good look at Mendelson. Back to the run game. Butler bangs his way right at the first down line. Tim Windclaw again on the tackle. Butler picking up 6. I tell you, Windclaw
has had a big night.
Whale of a game.
He has played a big night. You never want to see your free safety lead your team in tackles, because usually that means that there's a lot of people into the secondary, but boy, he's done a nice job.
Now it's a 1st and 10 now for Marshall. Closing in on 7 minutes left here in quarter number 3. Cato throwing deep out pattern, incomplete, down at the 30-yard line.
Try to go back shoulder right there. Boy, that's a tough throw. That's a throw that if you want to play at the next level, you got to be able to make. And boy, just missed it. Just let him a little bit. Communication not as good right there between receiver and quarterback is when you're going to turn and look to that back shoulder, because you've got to know when it's coming as a receiver.
Devontae Allen tried to do the contortionist act to pull it down, wasn't able to do it. Cato straight drop, plenty of time. Flushed out of the pocket, looking, throwing, and it is caught. No, they're saying now it's incomplete. Tommy Schuler got the hand on it, stepped out of bounds. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation. So just when we think that Marshall's kind of kicking it into another gear, Dave.
Well, Hill did a nice job of breaking that ball loose. Really nice job by Cato, get to the outside. Schuler coming back to the football, but Isaiah Hill, the nickelback, did a nice job of coming in and knocking that ball away.
You see Jaspers there calling out the line signals. 6 on the line of scrimmage for Rhode Island. Now they back off. They bring 3. Cato looks. Deep out pattern caught. 1st down, Marshall to the 40-yard line. Nice job, Craig Wilkins.
Nice pass. Cato does a nice job here. He steps in and puts some zip on this one. Again, this is a 40-yard throw on a 15-yard out. He's on one hash, throwing to the other hash, really steps into it. I mean, this is a missile coming out of his hand.
Craig Wilkins had 2 receptions last week to the run game. Right up the middle. This is going to be 6. Butler with the touchdown, the first of his career, or first of 2014.
39 yards out, just outstanding blocking up front. Just collapse the line. And Butler, nobody touches him. Then once he finds the secondary, he's got that special step. He just throws on the speed at that point, easily into the zone.
First touchdown of 2014. It covers 39 yards. Haig for the extra point. And he remains perfect this year.
Just a great job on the inside, kicking to the outside. Butler finds nobody touches him. Jogs the last few yards into the zone.
Have you ever imagined getting away from it all? Dreamed of sand between your toes? A place where the term online has a whole other meaning. Where the beach is just outside your window. Window shopping just steps away. And your worries miles away. A getaway that gets you closer to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Discover Bay Creek. Nestled in Cape Charles on Virginia's eastern shore, Bay Creek offers signature golf, private beaches, the new Beach Club fitness facility, world-class marina, and a sense of community that will soon have you calling this getaway home. Visit us online to explore the 10 uniquely crafted villages that make up Bay Creek. There's an option for every lifestyle, from low-maintenance townhomes, quiet cottage-style neighborhoods, to estate-style dream homes. Visit us online to explore all the real estate opportunities or to book your Bay Creek getaway today. welcome home. Welcome to Bay Creek.
The University of Texas at El Paso is changing the face of higher education. UTEP is the first national research university with a 21st century student demographic. We are pursuing a quest for excellence while strengthening our commitment to access. We are creators, tomorrow's leaders. We are a university on the move. UTEP, the university at the forefront of higher education.
Nearly 60 million Americans depend on free local TV. News, sports, weather emergencies, especially diverse communities, rural towns, the elderly. They save thousands every year on cable and satellite bills. Pay TV providers don't like that. They're pushing Washington to change the rules and cripple free TV. Call Congress. Tell them to stand up for 60 million Americans and stand up to pay TV providers. Don't mess with free TV.
You are watching the American Sports Network.
Along with Keith Moreland, I'm Ron Thule, and there's a good look at Stuart Butler. Comes up with a touchdown run to make it a 31-0 game.
Boy, just nice collapse down to the outside with the offensive line. They just collapse everything to the outside. Butler slips underneath the defensive end, and he goes untouched from 39 yards out.
Got dinged a little bit last week, not showing this week. Marshall, 3 rushers over 60 yards, led by Devin Johnson, who's over the century mark. And you can see 62 yards, took him 1:15, and only 6 plays.
You know, there is a stat that a lot of us talk about a lot when we're bringing you football games called time of possession. It means nothing to Marshall.
Yeah, no.
And they score so quickly that every team wins time of possession against them.
Yeah, Mike Leach, now Washington State, said that's the most meaningless stat he's ever heard of. Of course, this is a guy that also had Pirates in his office, so.
He scores pretty regular, too.
Yeah, he does. Well, let's see if Rhode Island can do anything offensively. At times, Mac Lowry's done a nice job, and he will come back into the lineup along with Lyle McCombs in the backfield. Robbie Jackson, their big receiver, we've called his name a couple of times, but probably not enough. You're waiting for that one person to step up and do something huge. Now McCombs and Cooper in the backfield along with Lowry. And they tried a little swing pass. Marshall doing a nice job in the pursuit. That was McCombs scampering out of bounds. Picked up about 4.5 on the play.
You win football games, especially defensively, up front. We talked about the rotation. 10 different guys have rotated up front tonight for the Thundering Herd, and they have controlled the line of scrimmage all night.
Well, one of the things that Chuck Heater, the defensive coordinator at Marshall, wanted to do this year, eliminate big plays. Right now, Rhode Island has not had any big plays. Lowry double pumps and just has to throw it away because a bunch of green jerseys were in his face.
Well, big plays by most coaching staffs are 12-yard runs plus, pass plays of 16 yards plus are considered explosive plays. I'm not sure that Rhode Island has had more than one explosive play all night.
There's a good look at Chuck Heater, one of the great running backs in Michigan history. He even said that being an offensive player and an offensive coach in his career has really helped him be a better defensive coach. McCombs joining Lowry in the backfield. Lowry stands straight up, rifling the pass, incomplete, intended for Robbie Jackson.
That receiver's open, threw it behind him. Lowry just has not, you can start to feel happy feet on him right now. You can watch him. He's not setting his feet and delivering the football the way he did. He's trying to go to the inside. It's the second time he's had an open slant receiver for a first down. It was pass gone behind him.
Anthony DePaula, the 10th punt for the Rams tonight. Tommy Schuler back at the 35-yard line. Only had 1 punt return coming into this year. Had 3 last week. They tried Donquell Green, but he fumbled one of the punts, and they got a piece of that one. I think Marshall just needs to get away from the football, and Schuler getting way too close to it. Finally down at the 35-yard line. Another outstanding rush in special teams, and you hit it on the head. You know, watching Doc Holliday, the head coach, on Thursday with special teams, he's right in the middle of them.
Well, they did a nice job again. I think that's the second time in the game they've got a piece of it. And Tommy Schuler saying, hey, what should I do on that? I mean, when you haven't returned a lot of punts, that one that's on the ground and punting, you know, that's the biggest decision you got to make right there. He's coming over and saying, hey, what should I have done there? Hey, you got a lead, stay away from the football.
That's exactly right. Stuart Butler will stay in the lineup. Devin Johnson hasn't played a while in the second half since the first series. I'm sure now that Remy Watson is hurt, they're going to give Butler a little more playing time. Angelo Jean Lewis on the near side. Devontae Allen the far side. They go with a 4 wide receiver set and a whistle.
That was a play clock situation again. Marshall was trying to get to the line of scrimmage. You get so used to having that 40 seconds and setting everything up, and when there's a change of possession, the clock again goes to 25, and it makes it much more difficult to get to the line of scrimmage to get the play off.
And as we mentioned, 3 over 60, led by Johnson's 137 yards. Got to talk about offensive coordinator Bill Legg of Marshall. You walked out last night, Keith, and first thing you said is, I'd play for that guy.
Anytime. I could sit and talk with him or play for him anytime. Enthusiastic. Talks about the things that are football about the fundamentals of football. Right. He said offensive football starts in the middle. I like that. And then you stretch it out. He says, I've got a kid that can really spin it. And we're going to throw it a lot, but we still got to be able to run the ball between the tackles.
He talked about the mental aspect of being a quarterback a lot. And here is Cato going upstairs, across the middle, complete into Rhode Island territory down to the 45-yard line. That went 19 yards to Demetrius Evans.
Nice route right here. Comes back, good blocking up front. Route comes down, breaks in right behind the linebackers, finds that soft spot in the zone, and goes up. Knows he's going to get hit, comes down with the football.
Second reception tonight for Evans. Second game in a row he's had 2. And that'll go against Marshall. They'll back him up 5 yards.
Now these will
Ball
not
start.
Coach Holliday
Number
happy.
60 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Talked about having over 90 yards of penalties in the game last week against Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
It's just that's one of the.
There's Bill right there.
He is a fun guy to talk to.
Oh, you know, he talked about how he and Rakeem study tape of NFL quarterbacks, and he was telling us how much of a gym rat Rakeem Cato is. That he says, you know, he goes, every time I see him, he goes, Coach, you got to download this for me. You have to download this to me so I can watch this.
He said, I own an iPad, but I don't ever get to use it.
Cato this time pulls it down, has some running room. Thought about sliding at the 40, instead just ran out of bounds at about the 41. That'll be a pickup of 4 on the play.
He takes the ball to the 40. That's a gain of 10. Second and 5, Marshall.
And he's got such a rapport with Rakeem Cato. Back in 2012, one of the things he said he had to do is just get Rakeem Cato to spend some time with Jaspers and former player Aaron Dobson, just to try to get him to open up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just one-on-one conversations. Second down and 5 from the 40. 566 yards for Marshall. Cato looked right, now he runs left. He's got a lot of green in front of him. Heads to the outside, stays on his feet, and scampers out at the 23-yard line. Andrew Bowes was chasing him, but he was able to pick up 17 on the play.
I love the fact that he had his eyes downfield downfield the whole time. Look, nothing there. Now watch, his eyes are still downfield. He's looking around. Now he's a runner, and he makes a nice move. Take care of your body, get out of bounds.
And he ran out of the pocket a little more last year. This time he keeps it. Dives forward to the 15-yard line. He had one of those Miami of Ohio game. Everybody thought he put it in the belly of Devin Johnson. Even his own offensive lineman, Johansson, said, I didn't know Cato scored on that play. I thought Johnson did until I saw the tape on Sunday. Pretty good at putting the ball in the belly and pulling it out and running with it. Second and short. Butler getting a lot of playing time.
Yeah, changing the play right here. See something at the line of scrimmage.
Butler. He will get the first down, get down to about the 12-yard line. Clock closing in on 3:45. Blake Jones on the stop out of Mechanicsville, Virginia, who has a lot of family in the stands today. transfer from Ohio U. There's a good look at Butler out of Lakeland, Florida. Averaged over 8 yards a carry, almost 9 yards a carry last season.
And they wanted to get him some extended playing time, and they are here in the second half. I don't believe Johnson's hurt. I just think they want to get Butler some extended playing time.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Cato, plenty of time, goes into the end zone looking for 6, incomplete.
Might have had some contact right at the end of this run, but I think this is an uncatchable ball. The student section at that end of the field was upset, thought there was some contact, but no flag, because I don't believe that you could come down with the football and he couldn't have.
Now, we showed you the graphic a moment ago that they had 3 rushers over 60. Now they have 4. And the whistle blows, and we're going to stop things. Timeout, Rhode Island.
Now Marshall was going quickly right there. Bill Fleming came running out of the field. His defense was not set, and they take their first time out.
Now let's take a look at Rakeem Cato's numbers for tonight. And his passing's got a little bit better in that first half. 255 yards, throwing a couple of touchdown passes. Yeah, not bad. 70 yards on 7 rushes.
Well, 325 yards of total offense. It's a pretty good game at this point. He is a guy, though, that I look at that he should be completing 7 out of 10. But his ability to throw the football and his accuracy, you know, if you throw it 20 times, you got to have 14 out of 20 minimum, somewhere in that range.
Well, we already passed Byron Leftwich tonight as far as passes attempt. He needed only 23, needed 33 coming in tonight. Completions to pass him number 2, and only Chad Pennington is still ahead of him. And he could actually pass all Pennington's records. Butler gets a shot from behind and lunges forward down to the 10-yard line. 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Marshall getting close to 600 yards.
Demetrius Evans comes up that time, and he does deliver a blow right there. Donovan Walker, number 4 for Rhode Island. Boy, he comes in and does lay the wood to him.
3rd down and 9. They can get a first down at the 2-yard line. Cato looks to put it up. Pressure backside, he senses it. Running it. Inside the 5, lowers his head at the goal line. They'll mark him down at the 1-yard line.
I guarantee you that Coach Holliday still, even though, hey, I want you to get in the end zone, but I'm not sure I want to take this kind of blow up 31-0 here in the second ball game of the year. He makes his move now. Now he tastes pay dirt, almost gets it in there, and takes a pretty good lick, but does get the first down.
And it's 1st and goal. Butler right next to him. 605 yards, only 80 for Rhode Island. The pass up over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Tommy Schuler again.
You don't see that very often. Really good hands. Tommy Schuler's got as good a hands as you'll say any receiver in the country. He shakes his head. He knows he let that one get away from him. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, they like to use Frohnapple. We saw that last week, and use his 6'7" frame in this situation. But let's see if they just stick it in the gut of Butler and let him run it in. Butler straight ahead, touchdown Marshall.
Just stronger right now. So you can see now they're starting to wear down this Rhode Island defense. Even though they've done a nice job throughout the ball game, but right now the offensive line just controlling the line of scrimmage. They got a 3-yard push there on the goal line. That's hard to do.
And Butler getting some playing time and taking advantage of it tonight. Haig stays perfect on extra points. Inside of 2 minutes in Huntington, West Virginia, we were 30 minutes late starting. Marshall was late getting their offense in gear, but they put it in gear now. They lead at 38-0.
It's really been really nice 21-point third quarter where they have controlled everything, and it all starts up front. You can see this push. Look at that push. They were pushing defenders 3 yards deep into the end zone. Butler finished it with the touchdown. That was a nice drive. A lot of that on the feet, on the ground by Cato on that drive. 10 plays, 64 yards, culminated with the 1-yard Butler touchdown run.
And you saw big Clint Van Horn, number 78, coming over and talking to Butler, who completed that drive. Kudos to these young fans who stayed through the just driving rain earlier this evening. They probably loved every minute of it.
You know, they did, but I'm sure there were some adults that weren't as happy. We did see a couple of fans, though, at the very top, just hanging through it.
He's still up there.
Riding it out.
That one kid is still up there that we showed earlier in the game. He's still sitting in that seat. He's the most honest guy in Huntington. McCombs and Holmes back from the 6-yard line. McCombs looking for some type of running room. Gets up over the 20, up to the 24-yard line before he runs out of bounds. And Rhode Island, inside of 100 yards total offense, will try to get something going. Once again, this is a very, very young Rhode Island team. So many of the guys are first-year players, and just trying to get them to get in some type of groove. This is their first game of the year.
And they'll make a big jump between game one and game two, there's no doubt.
93 on the roster, 31 are new for Rhode Island. Run game has not been successful tonight. A couple of times, though, that McCombs has been able to break it. That time he only picks up 3 on the play.
Lowry hasn't been as consistent. In the first half, I felt like he threw the ball pretty well. Here in the second half, he's had a couple of open receivers that he just hadn't been able to deliver the football to. He's been under stress, though, with the rush.
2nd down and 7, final minute and 20 here in quarter number 3. McCombs up over the 30 to the 31-yard line, picks up another 3 spot. Now this is a team that lost 14 straight on the road until they beat Albany in overtime last year. They've had their road woes. On 3rd down. Lowry fakes, throws over the middle, nice pass, caught, 1st down up over the 40-yard line. Nice job by Padre White. I like Mac Lowry's poise.
He does. And when he sets his feet right here, he stays right in there, delivers the football on time in front of the receiver. He had single coverage that time. He recognized it right away.
Letman on the coverage, already has an interception tonight. Lowry sees the pocket collapse, still gets the pass off complete. Inside the 45 to White again.
Nice drag right across the middle. This just starts, comes right in behind the linebackers, catches Marshall in a blitz with the linebackers. Just drag it across, really tough in man coverage for the defender to stay with the drag pattern because he gets a jump at the snap count. He knows exactly where he's going. The defender's chasing the whole time.
Final 22 seconds of the 3rd, and Rhode Island putting a little drive together. Lowry, another play action. Everybody goes to the left. Lowry stands up tall. Penalty flag is thrown, lets it fly. Pass is caught at the 20-yard line, but it's probably going to come back. What a great fake. McCombs, by the way, on the reception. What a great fake. Everybody goes to the left.
Well, they were setting this up to McCombs. They fake it to McCombs and then trying to get the wheel route down the field. I'd be real surprised that this could be defensive holding, as McCombs could have been grabbed as he was on a wheel route up the sidelines.
Holding on Marshall, number 49. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 1st down.
And that's exactly what it was. Ron, I was right. He was going to be open. It was all a play with all the momentum going to the right. They were going to do a throwback on a wheel route, trying to get a big play. And as a defender sometimes, and you know your beat, just reach up and grab him. And that saves the touchdown.
Cortez Carter, a backup linebacker, getting some playing time, is called for the infraction. Now Rhode Island with a chance to put points on the board. This would be huge. Lowry keeps it left side, tiptoes out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 13.
This is a huge drive for Rhode Island. You're going, Keith, what are you talking about? It's 38-0. They have not scored in so long. They've got to find a way to celebrate a little bit.
Absolutely. The last time they scored, October 19th, 2013 versus Richmond. When we come back, will Rhode Island finally get off the schneid in a scoreless streak that's approaching 170 minutes? Third quarter is in the books. Marshall on top.
Koch Industries started in the heartland, and we've expanded to nearly every state. Today, that's more than 60,000 American jobs. You may not always see our name on the products you use, but we help make better food, clothing, shelter, technologies, and other necessities. Here, we build on each other's ideas to create more opportunities for people everywhere. Together, we are Koch.
Along with Keith Moreland, I'm Ron Thulin. Welcome back to Huntington, West Virginia. We head to the final stanza. Marshall leading the Rhode Island Rams 38-0. And Rhode Island trying to break the scoreless streak that dates back to last season, and they've put together their most impressive drive of the night right here. Second down and 4 from the 13. Lowry, a quarterback. Looking, eludes the first tackler, able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Defensive coordinators are not just going to give in and let you score.
Right.
So they went to a blitz package that time, brought the inside linebackers coming from the inside. He came free, and Lowry actually made something out of nothing right there. As he had pressure, and he had pressure right away. He was trying to get an out and up to his wide receiver on the outside. Wide side of the field, maybe combination pattern right here. Get something crossing back over the middle of the field.
Third down. They need 4. Lowry hands it to McCombs, and it'll get the first down inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line. And I tell you, Chuck Heater, even though they're pitching a shutout right now, the defensive coordinator, he wants that shutout.
Oh, yes.
And I guarantee the players do too. There's Chuck right there, but they want it. This is kind of a little notch in the belt.
It is. Anytime you can throw a goose egg up there, you want to do that. And these are important moments. These are character-building moments for both of these teams, even though it's a 38-0 game.
So it's first and goal now from the 9-yard line. Lowry to McCombs, looking left side, and he is corralled, able to pick up a couple on the play.
You know what I've been impressed with? I've been impressed with the team speed defensively for Marshall. They close to the outside so well. Every time that one of the running backs, because McCombs has got good speed, Cooper's got good speed back there, but every time they try to break anything to the outside, the team speed for Marshall has really shown up.
Check that. That was Markey Clark on the last rush as McCombs checks back into the lineup. Second and goal from the 6. And there is movement. And you pay for it.
If you're the offensive lineman that moved, you paid for it right there.
Offside.
This is going to be offside.
Number 73 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down. Half the distance, second down.
Now this is just a hair early right here. This is what you get anticipating the snap count. Go ahead and, if you're going to cross there, might as well get something for it, because you know right now when you're walking back that, oh, I'm going to have to explain that during the tape review tomorrow.
Old Joe Masqua, the sophomore out of Alexandria, Virginia. And coaches, one of the things they said about him is they want him to play better. They still think that he has a lot more to give to this team. That doesn't help. Lowry hit as he throws, almost intercepted.
This ball's tipped. He took a real blow right in the midsection.
Boy, he did.
As he's delivering the football. And this ball's also tipped as one of the defenders gets his hand up, gets a piece of it. Boy, this is a blow. You're vulnerable right there.
Ooh.
Right up in the air. Nothing dirty about that, just playing at full speed.
I think Masqua got even for the penalty on that.
He sure did.
Now Markey Clark is checked into the backfield. And Lowry stays in. 3rd down and 3 from the 3. Clark hit right at the line of scrimmage, and they stand him up, and he's gang tackled. They came from everywhere. That sets up a 4th down and goal.
Well, do you go for it here since you haven't scored? This will tell you a whole lot about Coach Fleming's idea of what he's thinking about. Does he need a score, or does he want to try to go? Because the theory would be to go for it right here and try to get cut into the lead, but your team hasn't scored in so long at this point. They're going to go for it. I like this.
I like it too.
Come away with 6.
I think kicking a field goal is kind of like, okay, we broke the scoring streak, big deal. But here it is. 4th and goal, ball's on the 3-yard line. Lowry rolling, looking to throw back. He does, has a man, caught! Touchdown, Rhode Island, Charlie McKeeman.
Really well-designed play with a rollout. McKeenan acts like he's blocking down on the linebacker, comes down on the linebacker. You can see it right here. Does it, freezes, and then releases after his block. And then the pitch and catch. That was an outstanding catch to come down with the 6 points.
Way to go, Charlie. His first reception of the year and of his career.
That's a team congratulating each other. You need that for practice this next week.
Absolutely. Dylan Smith on for the extra point. And they get 7. So the last time they scored was October 19th, 2013 versus Richmond. Over 160 minutes. McKeeman ends that.
Welcome to UNT. You came to UNT to get an education. We're going to give you an education.
Choosing a college is a major decision.
So why did I choose WKU?
Because at WKU, professors are experts in their field.
I'm encouraged to study abroad
And make the whole world my classroom.
And where I get real-world experience.
Doing exactly what I want to do.
And where I have all the tools I need to prepare for a successful future.
It's all within my reach at Western Kentucky University.
You are watching the American Sports Network. Next week on ASN. After an offseason filled with transformation, the storied seats of Cal Stadium are once again ready to host fans for New Hampshire football. The gates open for the first time in 2014 next Saturday at 3:30. It's New Hampshire and Lehigh here on ASN.
as the Rhode Island Rams get on the board. They take it down the field in a drive, and this is an excellent play design. They roll to one side, tight end blocks, and it comes back, and this is a great effort to come down with the fourth down catch, as the Rams have not scored in more than 170 minutes, and they come down with one here. What a great individual effort by McKinnon to come down with the catch. It culminates a 12-play, 75-yard run, by far the best drive of the night. 4 minutes, 54 seconds off the clock, and get into the end zone. And you could see that sideline erupt when they got that score. And as you know, if you hadn't scored in nearly a year, it seems like.
Yeah, it's 3 games of last season. And now for the first time tonight after a touchdown, Marshall returns a kick. Reeves tries to bounce to the outside, brings it up to about the 24-yard line. And that was a return of about 22 yards. We talked about that this is a very young Rhode Island team. I mean, you have to understand, too, that 49 of their 93 players had never played a BCS game until tonight. And when you look at somebody like Charlie McKeeman, that's one of the young players they're counting on.
You're right. And he's going to be excited about that. Would think that would help. That's just going to help your program. Now they need to come back out, like to win the fourth quarter. That's the other thing you try to sell as a coach. Hey, you scored. Now let's win the fourth quarter.
Makes that long drive up to the airplane, and then on the flight home makes it a little bit better. Cato swings it out to the far side. Pass complete up to the 30-yard line. May mark it down at the 29. That'll be to Tommy Schuler. That'll be Schuler's 3rd reception of the night. Devontae Allen leading the team with 4. Schuler has 3. Williams has 2. Evans has 2. Gene Lewis has 2.
I would think this is Cato's last possession.
Right.
But you'd like to get him one more possession here in the fourth quarter.
Well, they want to get Gunnar Holcomb, the young sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, some playing time. Difficult pass, and it is caught. Wow, that was thrown a long way to Devontae Allen. And he took the ladder up to get it.
Well, he did. Rondell Lane made him pay for it, too. As you climb the ladder, and Lane comes right in underneath him. Good, sure tackle. Boy, you're sitting there going, ooh, I'm stretched out up in the air. Lane does a nice job of making the tackle.
Allen's been challenged both mentally and physically by the coaches this season. They need him to step up this year. At least he's finally healthy. Brandon Bird now in the backfield with Rakeem Cato. Cato rifling the pass out far side, taking a knee, but it will be a first down up over the 35 to the 38-yard line. Again, it is Craig Wilkins. So Wilkins with his 3rd reception tonight. Had one of 17 yards earlier in the ball game.
Does a nice job coming back to the football there. That's a long pass again. And come back, make sure you secure it for the first down.
And again, the up-tempo offense. Cato keeps it right up the middle. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Marshall. 64 yards for Rakeem Cato.
Well, I tell you, he makes a nice move. This is a great play fake. He makes a zone read, play fake, and when he puts it down right here, we talked about him being electric in the open. He can do things not only with his arm, but with his feet. Boy, he just outruns everybody to the house.
He's had a 24-yard run and that 60-yard plus run. Officially, that may be the longest of his career, and Haig, the extra point is good. Take a look at it again, Keith.
Well, just great play fake. It's all set up with the play fake on the zone read, and then once he gets into the secondary, he does a nice job to make a move, pops it to the outside, finds the end zone.
Look at that. Brett Favre. Justin Verlander. Alfred Morris. John Bush. Amber Holt. Randy Moss. All players from Conference USA schools. The question is, who is the next Favre? Who's the next Verlander? The next Moss? We're about to find out.
Katie will receive the Kitty Queen Hardware Store gift certificate for people who at any of their 3 locations. Kitty Queen Hardware, locally owned and operated for over 40 years.
That is why Rakeem Cato is a Heisman Trophy candidate, my friends. The longest rush and the longest TD run of his career. Thundering Herd 45-7. Keith, it was impressive.
Well, he did a nice job, and I loved at the end of the run right here. He makes a move, knows I need to get another angle and make sure I can separate myself, finds the end zone. That culminates the touchdown run. It gives him 143 yards on the ground. And to go with that, 220 or 260 in the air, he's got a 410 total yards
That'll
of
work.
offense. That'll work all day long.
And there's the young man we talked about, Gunnar Holcomb, a big kid at 6'3", 202 pounds, out of University School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's going to get some playing time. I think that's it for Rakeem Cato.
410 yards of offense. He deserves the rest of the night off.
Absolutely. And a nice job in the kicking game by Corey Vedvik out of Norway.
They've done a nice job on special teams tonight. Obviously, there's some things that every coach will tell you that there's always things to improve on week to week. And Coach Holliday will talk about the fumbles. Now, a lot of the fumbles tonight were caused with the moisture that we had. We had 2 extreme rainstorms, one of them during the middle of the ball game. But it's been a good night. It took them a little while to get their offense rolling, but it's been a night tonight what we expected out of the Thundering Herd.
Well, they've rushed for 414 yards. The last time they rushed as a team for over 400, November 8th, 1940 versus Detroit Tech. And no smart aleck comments that, Ron, I think you did the game back then.
Oh, I did color if you did the game.
They rushed for 576 in that game, by the way. 400 yards rushing, very impressive. But it doesn't seem like that, because of the slow start.
Yep.
And now Rhode Island, after scoring in their last possession, the final 9:50 of the ball game, trying to get a little more confidence here. Lowry dumps it off. That'll be incomplete. Intended for Padre White, who's had a nice game. The junior.
Well, you're going to get some young guys in there at the linebacker position, try to build some depth, and especially in their secondary. If there is a problem right now where they're a little thin in the secondary is Marshall, and this is a great time to get some of those guys the opportunity to get some playing time and play under the lights.
And it's 3rd down. They need 5. Lowry being chased. He is going to have to take a seat back at the original line of scrimmage. And Lowry looks like he may have got popped in the face on that.
Well, it was a bad snap. He had to come up and get the snap. The snap never got back to him, so the play was disrupted from the very beginning.
Nice job by Antavis Rowe. Let's go back to what Coach Fleming told us of Rhode Island. He says what he was looking for tonight, keeping their poise, tackling well. And I think they've accomplished that for the most part, especially the poise part. I don't think they've ever lost their poise this evening.
I don't, and I think we saw some emotion from a team that it's going to take for a team to improve. It takes not only a mental approach and physical players, but it also takes a mental toughness.
Donquell Green, who fumbled a punt earlier in the evening, is back, and he's going to try to pick this one up. No, he was wise. Let it go, young man.
Absolutely. Once it gets by you, don't chase it and touch it.
Not when you have a big lead. 45-7's our score. Marshall will have the football when we come back to Huntington, West Virginia.
Have you ever imagined getting away from it all? Dreamed of sand between your toes? A place where the term online has a whole other meaning. where the beach is just outside your window. Window shopping just steps away. And your worries miles away. A getaway that gets you closer to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Discover Bay Creek. Nestled in Cape Charles on Virginia's eastern shore, Bay Creek offers signature golf, private beaches, the new Beach Club fitness facility, world-class marina, and a sense of community that will soon have you calling this getaway home. Visit us online to explore the 10 uniquely crafted villages that make up Bay Creek. There's an option for every lifestyle, from low-maintenance townhomes, quiet cottage-style neighborhoods, to estate-style dream homes. Visit us online to explore all the real estate opportunities, or to book your Bay Creek getaway today. Welcome home. Welcome to Bay Creek.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Final 8 minutes and 46 seconds left in the ball game. That's Scott Sinclair, the strength and conditioning coach, spending time with the players the last couple of days. Number of players told me that it's because of him they've gotten in better shape. He's been here 2 years. They're more competitive in the weight room than they ever had. Some of them have even lost weight. And, you know, when I talked to Scott about it, he says, first of all, we've upgraded our facilities, so we got to thank our AD for that. But just this young man's attitude towards the players, he has motivated them so much to get in better shape than they've ever been in their life. Kudos go to him.
When they leave spring practice, the only guy that can have consistent contact with them is your strength and conditioning coach. So he's in charge of them all summer, and he establishes want to, is what the word that I call it. We'll get to it after this play.
Now Gunnar Holcomb, his first collegiate pass is complete.
But the want to be better, the want to win games, those kind of things are established by that guy in the summer and what you put into it in the summer. And you know what? When you lift weights and all the time you pay, you get out of it what you put in it. If you're committed, you get that commitment out of it.
Boy, I tell you, you know, just talking to the players and how many of them have lost, you know, drastic weight, but yet kept their strength up. It's very impressive. This time Holcomb is going to hand off to Brandon Bird, the redshirt freshman out of Gibsonton, Florida. Here's another name you want to keep an eye on is Bird, number 33. He's a broad jumper, broad jumped about 10.5 feet. He runs a 10.600.
Now that's getting after it.
That's motoring, isn't it?
That's getting after it.
And if you try to catch him, he'll just jump over you.
Yeah, well.
Second down and 7 from the 31-yard line. There he is, Bird, right side, gets the first down up to the 39-yard line, showing a little bit of explosiveness. I mean, you think when Remy Watson gets healthy, that's Johnson, Watson, Butler, and Bird.
Stable.
Yeah, that is.
That's a stable of running backs.
And the way this game is played right now and the way the formations and the hurry-up offense, you need 4 running backs.
You're trying to get 100 snaps a game.
Holcomb's pass is complete. Up over the 45-yard line to the 46-yard line.
A nice pattern, good pitch and catch right there. Doing a nice job of stepping into the throw. That's the thing that you like about Holcomb is he did a nice job of planting his foot, stepping into that deep out. Toughest throw to throw is the 14 to 15-yard deep out.
Josh Knight was the receiver on that play. Holcomb keeps throwing the football. Pass is complete again inside the 50. Down to about the 48-yard line. And a lot of people are saying, why are they throwing when you're up 45-7?
This
As
is
Brian
your
Juracek,
offense.
This is your offense.
This
exactly.
is what you do. I mean, it's like an extended running game, the short passing West Coast style of offense is a part of your game, and that's just what you're going to do. Now, if it were down into 2 minutes, you'll stop doing that and go into just basically handing it off.
And you also want to get this young quarterback the reps of doing what the first-team quarterback would do as he takes a seat.
Play under the lights, because you're only one play away from being involved.
You know, and you were part of the University of Texas team, of course, and when you think about Texas, how about Colt McCoy goes down, probably cost them a national title.
Well, it cost them an opportunity to win a national championship game.
2nd down and 11. Holcomb this time picks it up, looking, keeping his poise. Nice job, squares the shoulders, rifles the pass, and that'll be incomplete.
You could have a couple of things here. You could have a hold, you could have an illegal player downfield. When a quarterback gets outside the pocket, Ron, one of the things that offensive line coaches just cringe about is because as a blocker, you're staying with your guy. If you move him out to the side and all of a sudden you look up, you're 5, 6, 7 yards down the field. And when that happens, a lot of times it draws a flag.
Well, now they face 2nd and 11 from the 49. 5:35 to play in the ball game. Handoff gets him down to the 49-yard line is Brandon Bird. And Donovan Walker on the stop.
Yeah, declined that penalty on 2nd down, made it 3rd down, and Marshall's going to have to punt it away here.
And the clock is running. Something Marshall hasn't had to do a whole lot of tonight is punt. Lyle McComb standing back at his 10-yard line. And a lot of the starters, their night is complete. Nice high wobbly kick. McComb signals the fair catch. Hits a Rhode Island player in the back, but I think it popped right into one of his teammates' hands.
It's actually Marshall.
Marshall comes up with it.
It's one of those things that nobody gets away from it. Special teams, first game of the year. That's another teaching tool for Coach Fleming. He'll go back and say, all right, we got to get away. Right now, if you're the guy receiving, you got to be screaming, get away. And then when you hear that, you've got to move. And his defender had his back to the ball, had no idea where the football was.
Well, Davidson Bartholomew is the one who had his back turned, and it hit him right square in the shoulders. And that's another teaching moment for tomorrow.
You can see that's frustration right there, but that's exactly right. They use everything as an education.
And Gunnar Holcomb will go back to work, looking, throwing. That'll be way too high, hits the crossbar. Pass is incomplete.
Trying to slide it to the inside slot receiver right there, and that ball just took off on him a little bit. Again, that's why you're wanting some work for a guy to get that field. He had a very open receiver that time.
Deontay McManus, the redshirt freshman out of Baltimore, was the intended receiver. Ball's on the 12-yard line, 2nd and 10. Holcomb keeps it. And he'll pick up a couple down to the 10-yard line. Nice job by Joe Simon from that defensive end spot. And I think Marshall's just going to take their time now. Of course, they'll get ready for Ohio next week. That is a home game right here in Huntington at noon Eastern time. Bird joins him in the backfield, but Holcomb will put it up again. Throws it over the middle, incomplete. Should have been caught.
Much better job of delivering the football there that time. As he got in good position and delivered the football. McManus just couldn't come down with it.
And so now the field goal attempt. Haig's got one already tonight. They'll mark this at about the 17-yard line. Be a 27-yard field goal attempt. Williams is holding. Matt Sincata is the snapper. The junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 men on the field. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Well, that'll shorten the field goal a little bit.
This is one of those when your Coach Holliday, well, he's made it 4th and short. Do you run a play or you allow your field goal kicker just to get his work in as well?
Now this will be a 22-yard field goal attempt. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is perfect. So Marshall adds to their lead. The final 4 minutes and 3 seconds of this ball game. Marshall on top, 48-7.
The decisions you make today will guide your tomorrows. Taking pride in your work, knowing the true meaning of tradition, and understanding value comes in many ways. Being close to home, but not too close. Blazing your trail with the help of others. Knowing what you seek is within your reach. We make decisions every day. We are Marshall University, your best decision ever.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Okay. 143 yards rushing for Rakeem Cato tonight. That's the 3rd highest rush total for a Marshall quarterback in a single game. And I tell you what, this team is potent. They're picked to win the East, but you look at their schedule. We'll do that in a moment. They could run the table.
They very easily could run the table. Now, they got a tough ball game right here next weekend at noon that you were just talking about against Ohio University. There will be a competitive game. There's no question about it. But then they start to get into conference play. We'll get to it after this kick.
Holmes and McCombs again back. And they're going to take it. It'll be McCombs. Gets up to the 20-yard line. About a 21, 22-yard return on that.
But with Ohio coming and then that trip to Akron, again, the Zips are a good ball club. That's not going to be an easy game. And then they get into conference play. Have to travel to Old Dominion. Has played pretty well tonight at North Carolina State. I think they're on the losing end, but they were right in the ball game. And then Middle is a really good football team.
Yeah.
That trip, those last two at the end are the ones. That trip to Southern Miss and then Rice here to end the season.
I'll tell you, ODU, Taylor Heineke, the fine, outstanding quarterback, and Bobby Wilder, their head coach. That's going to be a tough game at ODU. Now this is a little denture check here on McCombs.
Just turn your shoulders, and then he does perfect form tackle. As a matter of fact, if you were to put a form tackle down, that's exactly how you do it.
Well, that's Kendall Gant. Georgia wanted him. Marshall got him. More open field tackling again by Marshall's defensive backs. Ezra Holmes was the receiver on that. I tell you, I think Chuck Heater's got to be impressed with his defense tonight.
Well, we asked him last night how much tackling and things are going on. He said, my team does tackle. They compete and they tackle well.
Nice pump fake. Penalty flag is thrown. Pass is incomplete. Robbie Jackson got it.
Fall camp, you do got to do some hitting, but you don't want to do as much. He said we really did hit a lot in the spring, but once we got in the early part of the fall, but we slowed it down a little bit once we got into game.
Pass interference, number 30 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's a happy medium, Ron, to know you don't want to get guys injured. You want to keep guys up in practice and not on the ground. But also you've got to recreate what it's going to be like somewhat in game day when you have to make a tackle.
It was on Manning, the defensive back. Penalty was on him. So it's 1st and 10, ball on the 42-yard line. Jackson on the reception. Stops the clock with 2:53. Also a reminder, tonight, Marshall was supposed to be playing Louisville, but the fact they joined the ACC, there had to be some scheduling changes, and that changed their plans. Louisville will be here in 2016, and you wanted another home game. You didn't want to have 5 home games and 7 road games, so they had to get somebody with an open schedule. That's why they are playing Rhode Island tonight. Everybody's jumping offsides.
Penalty. That'll be a first down.
There's not much you can do, and we've had all the transition in college football and schools changing conferences and those kind of things. Things like that are going to happen.
Exactly. First down again. Again, Lowry hit as he releases the ball. He's taken a couple of cracks tonight in the Schmutz.
Yeah, they came with a blitz package again that time. He had no chance. He got the football. He was trying to find space just to get rid of it. He did a nice job of protecting the football and saving the yardage.
Final 2:32. Second and 10. I tell you, Lowry just keeps on firing. You got to hand him that. Now he's scrambling for his life, and he'll go down, loses the football. At the 47-yard line. Don't worry, Rakeem, you're not going into the ball game tonight again. How about that? Last time over 700 yards back in 2002 versus Buffalo. Tonight, 717 yards total offense.
Oof. In a slow start.
Yeah.
Trying to go with that. I mean, the first quarter was a very slow start.
This probably is going to sound stupid, but you know how when you say a guy scores 20 points in basketball is a quiet 20?
Yeah.
That was a quiet 700. Because the first half.
Oh, yeah, no question, especially the first quarter.
Pass is complete, almost picked off. Pulled down by Padre White. He has done an outstanding job tonight catching the football. That is his 5th catch tonight.
They're going to go for it here on 4th down. There's no sense to punt the football away.
Not with a minute and a half left.
Boy, he did a nice job. He didn't have gator arms that time. You hear that sometimes from receivers.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to get popped across the middle and went up and just got it at its highest point and came down with the catch.
And the play clock down to 15. Plenty of time. And, of course, that Rhode Island's going to have to make the long trek home tonight. Play clock down to 5.
Just at this point, you don't want to play defense anymore, give up anything else, but you're going to give your offense a chance. So take it down. You know you're going to run a 4th down play. And either you get it and you'll try to push the ball down. If not, you force the opponent probably to take a knee in victory formation.
And that's 4th down and 8 from the 49-yard line. They let the clock run down. I think they just want to get out of here now and not get anybody else hurt. And here it goes. 4th down, they need 8. Lowry sees pressure. This time he just dumps it off short inside the 40-yard line, and that's going to do it. Will not get the first down. Harold Cooper tried to lunge for it. Was not able to get it.
That ball will go over on downs, and I would think at this point you take a knee.
Yeah.
Rhode Island will not, at this point, will not call any timeouts. What a heck of a ball game for who exactly we thought would have it. Devon Johnson had a good ball game. We expect him to have a good ball game. But Hakeem Cato proved to me that he should be a Heisman candidate.
Absolutely. And he also has his Heisman website, and you can check that out, that they've started for him, and for good reason. And this might be the final play of the game. Clock continues to run. And Brandon Bird getting a little playing time.
Well, they don't have to snap it again. It's inside the 40-second play clock.
So Marshall will go to 2-0 on the year. And the question is, will that man, Remy Watson, how's his health?
It will be important.
Bird again. Final 15 seconds. And that would be a big loss for them. He adds so much to this football team.
Well, that's why they were getting Butler a lot of snaps tonight,
yeah,
Ron.
Absolutely.
Good ball game for Marshall. Really came on.
Final comment about Marshall tonight, Keith.
Well, they proved to me that they are the class maybe of Conference USA. They can do so many different things, especially on offense. I was also impressive with that defensive front. We were very, very good tonight.
Once again, Marshall, a big game tonight, 724 total yards. They hold Rhode Island at 175. Big night for Hakeem Cato. Doc Holliday goes to 2-0. Final score again, 48-7. Marshall over Rhode Island. For Keith Moreland and our entire crew, I'm Ron Thulin. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to AmericanSportsNet.com. This has been a presentation of ASN, the American Sports Network. Our teams, our network.
Koch Industries started in the heartland, and we've expanded to nearly every state. Today, that's more than 60,000 American jobs. You may not always see our name on the products you use, but we help make better food, clothing, shelter, technologies, and other necessities. Here, we build on each other's ideas